From the McCormick Gymnasium in Fargo, North Dakota. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas alongside of my partner Josh Johnson as we get set for North Dakota High School girls basketball action as the Shanley Deacons prepare to take on the Bismarck St. Mary's Saints. Well, folks, it is a clash of the Titans here this afternoon as the 5-0 Saints get ready to take on the 5-0 Deacons. St. Mary's marching in here looking to pull off the win on Shanley's home court. It's a tall task for any team, but if anyone can do it, you have to imagine it's these girls from Bismarck.
You are exactly right, Jed. St. Mary's, they've had some rough seasons in the past, but this year, like you said, they're charging out. They're undefeated, and they're truly looking to make a statement in this game to show that they can compete with anybody in the state.
Josh, couldn't put it any better myself. It is really a statement game. St. Mary's looking to prove that this season is not a fluke, that they are for real, and no better opportunity to do it than right here this afternoon. For now, folks, we are going to have to send you down to the PA announcer, but don't go anywhere. We got a great afternoon of basketball action coming up in just a few minutes.
Good afternoon and welcome to McCormick Gymnasium on the campus of Shanley High School for today's girls basketball matchup featuring the visitors on the scoreboard, the St. Mary's Saints, and their home team, Shanley Deacons. Shanley High School would like to remind all fans that we are a tobacco-free campus. Smoking is prohibited on the school grounds. We'd like to thank you for your cooperation in this matter. Also, the concession stand and restrooms here are located south of the Gymnasium in the Commons area. Tonight's game, Shanley girls basketball would like to recognize their alumni that have played basketball throughout the years for the Deacon girls basketball program and laid the foundation for what is today an extremely strong basketball program. If you were ever a basketball player for the girls Shanley basketball team, please stand, be recognized. I notice everybody is standing, that's okay. Please stand and be recognized. Also, past coaches as well. I'd like to thank you for your commitment to our program and helping build what it is today, a very strong program. Also, I'd like to give a special shout out to Coach Rick Fletcher, who I know is in the house, who did coach the Deacon girls basketball team to state championships in 1996 and 1997. Thank you, Coach Fletcher. And now everybody can please stand. I'd like to take a moment of silence to pay honor to Craig Mary, who's responsible for a number of these girls state championships on the wall, who passed away within the last year. Thank you, and thank you to Coach Mary. At this time, I'd like you to please stay standing as Father Charles LaCroix will lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Father, you revealed your power and your love by creating us, but revealed them even more by recreating us in your Son, Jesus. And during this special season of the year, we thank you for this time of recreation that we have here today. Be with us, watch over us, bless us, keep the players free from injury and harm. Allow them to play to the best of their ability, reward them for their efforts. May everything we think, say, and do give you great honor, glory, and praise. And when the day is complete, help us to arrive at our homeward destinations in safety. We pray all this in the name of your Son, Jesus, by the power of your Holy Spirit, and with the prayers of Our Lady as we pray. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Don't go anywhere, folks. High school basketball action is next after a brief word from our sponsors.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, Ed's Marine and Storage, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Kochman Brothers Homes, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Shields, and TCI Insurance.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School girls basketball action. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Josh Johnson as we are getting ready for what should be a fantastic matchup as the 5-0 Shanley Deacons take on the 5-0 Bismarck St. Mary's Saints. Two of the top teams in the state, obviously both with undefeated records coming into this game, but of course only one will walk away still undefeated. And Josh, who do you think some of the key players will be for both teams in this clash this afternoon?
Well, Jed, for Shanley, I'm going to be watching first Riley Payne. She's averaging around 25 points per game and is just an offensive monster. And then also Sierra Berg. Down low, she dominates the boards and really pushes the other team around. For St. Mary's, who I'm going to be looking for is senior guard number 12, Sydney Smith. She's very athletic, knows how to get up and down the floor, and knows what she's doing. And then also Caitlin Warner, who is also a senior. She's a center. She's 6 foot tall. Look for her to be battling Sierra Berg all day and see which one comes out on top.
Absolutely, Josh. I agree with all those names right there. A lot of big players there for St. Mary's. Literally, in terms of size, you got Caitlin Warner standing at 6 foot tall, but then you also got Tanya Dvorak standing at 6'1". Those are two girls 6 feet or taller. That is tough to defend no matter who you are, even when you've got Sierra Berg on your team. Very tough to compete with height like that.
Sierra Berg has a tough task for her today, but then also look for other Shanley players to help support, especially with traps down low, different double teams. Look for the game plan of Shanley to help them out throughout this game.
Absolutely going to try to game plan to make up for that height disparity. Same time, though, you got to be watching the backcourt and Sydney Smith, another girl you mentioned for the Saints. She has been having a great senior year, been a great player for the Saints these last few years, and we'll get to see her and the rest of the squad go to work against Shanley in just a couple seconds here as we're about ready to tip off. To tip off, it is Tanya Dvorak and Sierra Berg. And with that, we're underway as Berg tips that one forward to Payne, who goes immediately over to Huber. A design play off the tip does not finish, though, as Huber's shot is off the rim and out. Smith will carry it forward now for St. Mary's. She's looking around. Got Huber on her, but some space to work with. Circles to the near side, throws it back out to the top of the key. That shot then fired by Gerving, and it's off the rim, no good. Rebound grab by Payne. Riley Payne now will bring it up the far side. Leading scorer here for the Deacons so far in this season. Payne looking, top of the key finds Berg. Berg goes back to Huber. Huber with Smith on her, motioning, gets it off to Berg. Sierra Berg now looking, goes inside to Huber, and this one falls. Hadley Huber gets the first points of the afternoon to give the Deacons a 2-0 lead.
Jed, we're seeing both teams come out very high energy right now, running up and down the court. Both teams are excited to be here.
Absolutely, Josh. Looking very pumped up out there. They're moving at a fast pace early on in this one. Smith going inside. Sefner gets that one away. Finds Gerving on the near side. Her three-point attempt is no good off the rim. Rebound grab by Rivard. Lily Rivard tried to get the fast break, but she was caught from behind. And now Sefner will bring it forward for the Saints. Sefner out to Gerving. No room for the three. She moves in. Gets it underneath the hoop to Warner, who converts for two. Huber will carry forward now for Shanley. She hands off to Payne. Payne tries to go inside, nothing there. She backs out. Looking, finds Huber. Huber over to Vetter. Vetter surveys, goes over the top to Berg. Berg corrals it, throws it back out to Vetter, thinks about the three, takes it, no good off the rim. Maybe held that for just a second too long. Sydney Smith moving forward, that pass broken up by Payne, and then Huber tips it forward back to Payne. Payne going up for two, can't get it to fall, but she does draw the foul.
I'm impressed by both these teams defensively off the bat. While their rotation has been a little bit late for both teams, both have been very, very aggressive, looking for steals, looking for tips, and truly trying to make a play.
Yeah, looking to be fairly similar teams here. Similar game plan styles of play so far early on. Something tells me we'll see some separation and some differences, though, as this one moves on. You saw Riley Payne get in there to break up that pass that led to this foul. Be watching for that a lot in this game and really the rest of the season. Payne and this whole Shanley defense, they love to jump on those passes, try to get in those passing lanes and make opposing teams uncomfortable.
We see Shanley going to a half-court trap there, Jed, and then St. Mary's expertly dissecting it and able to get two off of it.
Yeah, that was a systematic job there by Bismarck St. Mary's. They knew exactly what they were doing there. And now Huber, as that one stealed, had practically a triple team on her, couldn't get out of it. On the far side, Gerving heaves one over, near side now to Dvorak. Dvorak going to hand off to Smith out at the top of the key. Smith wheeling in, takes an off-balance two, off the rim, no good. Rebound fought for, but ultimately won by Vetter. 4-3 the lead in favor of the visitors on the scoreboard. Payne on the far side goes into Vetter. Vetter with tight defense on her. Two girls there. Warner got the block. And St. Mary's shutting the Deacons down in the paint so far. Gerving near side. Has Rivard on her. Looking. Just gets that one away to Warner. Almost stolen that time by Berg. And then the pass way off target intended for Dvorak. Bit of a miscommunication. Puts that one out of bounds.
You don't see that one too often, Jed. You see Sierra Berg out there playing aggressive defense, the center for Shanley, aggressive defense around the three-point line. That just shows the type of athleticism that they expect from everybody at Shanley, is to have aggressive defense and to be able to guard anyone, anywhere.
Absolutely, Josh. St. Mary's now taking a timeout after that pass misfires. They do hold a 1-point lead on the scoreboard, up 4-3, with 15:06 left to go in the first half. So both squads come out now. It'll be Shanley ball on the last possession. St. Mary's put it out of bounds and turned it over. And so we're back to the action now. Hadley Huber will carry up, working her way past Smith into Dvorak, but gets past her as well. Huber throws it inside to Rivard. Rivard in trouble, gets it out to Payne. Payne now cutting in, throws one up for two, no good. Batted forward, rebound fought for by Berg. Berg winds up on top of it on the ground, and it'll be a jump ball that will go to St. Mary's. Gerving throws it into Smith. And now Sydney Smith will carry forward. Deacons pressing. Smith with a spin move goes behind the back. Some fancy moves. Able to find a girl underneath the hoop. It was Warner. She couldn't convert. And it will be a foul against Shanley after Seffner got that one over to Warner, and Warner was fouled going up for two underneath the hoop that time. Rivard picks up the foul that time, and now Warner at the line, shooting two, converts the first one.
Jed, these foul shots are going to be big, especially since both teams are playing so aggressively. Fouls are going to come, and whether you make or miss these could have a huge impact later in the game.
Absolutely, Josh. Fouls and the points you get off of them are going to be huge in a tight game like this. Olivia Manuel in for the Deacons right now, the sophomore, getting some big varsity minutes here in a big game. The Deacons are a little depleted on the bench coming into this game. They're without Taryn Hoffer and Katie Visser, two seniors who log a lot of minutes, but it doesn't seem to be having a big impact right now as Sierra Berg gets the two. Obviously, though, two big-time players for the Deacons who they are going to miss in this game. So girls like Olivia Manuel are going to have to step up. That time it was Megan Hike trying to convert. She could not, though. Tried a couple of times. Deacons, though, ultimately come away with the rebound. Riley Payne fires a three. No good off the rim. Berg there for the rebound, though. Cannot put it back. fight for the ball. They call it jump ball, and it'll stay with the Deacons.
In the last 5 or 6 possessions, we have seen Sierra Berg in on almost every single play. She's either touched the ball somehow, defended somebody, grabbed a rebound, taken a shot. She has been all over the place so far.
Yeah, she has really started to get into this game really in every aspect. Awkward shot from Vetter that time, goes off the top of the backboard and out of bounds. Gerving inbounds to Smith. Smith has Manuel on her, sophomore, working against the senior. Smith throws that one over to Presler, and then that ball is stolen. Manuel will bring it up for the Deacons. Manuel over to Vetter, inside to Huber for 2. No! Huber can't convert on a contested layup, and so the Saints get this one back.
That's the second time that Shanley has missed easier points than those being layups. They got to make sure that they get those fundamentals down and start making those shots.
Well, yeah, Josh, they have been struggling in the paint underneath the hoop in that area. The only person who's really been able to convert for them has been Sierra Berg, and they're going to have a couple more contributors in the paint if they want to be effective in there.
Very much so.
Over and back, the call against Bismarck St. Mary's after a wild pass, so it will be Deacon basketball, all knotted up 5-5 with 13 minutes left in the first. Huber drives in, and a foul goes against the Saints. Foul appears to be on Sydney Smith, and that's her first of the afternoon. Payne to inbound. She goes over to Huber. Huber going to work along the baseline. Tried to switch there and throw one up. Did not work out, though. Tight D again played by the Saints. It's Gerving with the ball now. She throws that one over to Smith. Smith going to go back to Gerving, directing traffic over to Presler now on the far side. Presler with Payne on her, goes inside to Hike. Hike's ball is tipped. It'll go out of bounds. Saved by Payne, but ends up in the arms of Warner, and now a travel is going to negate all that hard work there for the Saints.
That is the third turnover in the row. We had an over and back, and then we had a steal, and then we had a travel there. St. Mary's needs to be a little bit more focused in controlling the ball, getting some better possessions.
Yeah, very fortunate the Deacons have not been able to convert really on any of those turnovers, although that's in large part been to the tight defense St. Mary's is playing. Shanley really been smothered offensively. If the Saints wouldn't turn the ball over so much, you have to imagine they'd be probably up by a couple.
Ooh.
And that foul appears to be going against St. Mary's, but it was before the shot. And that'll be on Elizabeth Presler, her first. So came before the shot, so it won't be at the line, and that ball inbounded by Payne right off the foot of Dvorak. Payne throws that one over to Berg. Berg out to Huber at the top of the key. Huber looks, throws one into Berg. Berg gonna have to toss it out to Payne. Thought she had an opening for a minute. Manuel has it now. She goes to Vetter. Vetter on the near side to Huber out top. Huber looking, finds Payne. Payne made an excellent move, and she'll get the foul as well. What a move there by Riley Payne, like a wide receiver breaking off a D-back.
I was going to just use that comparison. I was going to say that Huber was looking like a quarterback. First, rocking a pass in there to Sierra Berg, but then just finding Payne in there for that cut.
Excellent move by Payne, and like you said, Hadley Huber looking like a QB from that point guard position. That's the type of offense Deacon fans are used to seeing, and now it's an 8-5 lead in favor of Shanley. Dvorak going to throw that one over to Smith, who goes back out top to Dvorak. Dvorak and Smith cycle this ball around. Smith somehow keeps control of that one after Huber came over. Presler got it on the baseline in a double team. She gets that one off just barely. Berg gets the hands up there to get the block on Schweitzer, though. Payne working against Smith. She goes out to Huber. Huber going to go inside to Vetter. Vetter spins and gets the two. 10-5. Now the score. Shanley starting to get into a rhythm. St. Mary's going to have to answer soon. Dvorak throws that one over to Smith just off her fingertips. Jump ball, and so it should stay with St. Mary's.
The third jump ball that Sierra Berg has been involved in. She, like we've been saying, she is all over the place.
Yeah, really been a huge factor here for the Deacons. Maybe not as much offensively, but certainly her presence is being felt on the defensive side of things. Dvorak at the top of the key over to Presler. They cycle to Smith in the corner. Smith overdoes it on that one, but the rebound put back there for Seffner. Huber brings it up the court now, scanning, gonna wheel in, throw one up for two, and she gets it. Tough angle and still able to convert Hadley Huber. Smith throws that one in the corner to Seffner. Seffner along the baseline. Excellent job getting past Berg, and she's fouled as she throws that one up.
Nice job by Schneffer there, getting the drive in. And, you know, St. Mary's, they had big going for a little bit. Like, Shanley had them on the ropes. And then this is a chance for them just to be able to calm down a little bit, get a couple easy points, and then regroup defensively, and then get another stop.
Right, Josh, and I think the biggest thing is they haven't turned the ball over here in a little bit, and that's obviously kind of been their big problem early on in this game. If they don't turn the ball over, though, they've looked effective when they can keep control of the basketball. That time you saw Seffner make some excellent moves. She's only 5'8", working against the 6'1" Sierra Berg, but she was still able to slip around her and draw the foul. Seffner's second attempt is good, so now it's a 4-point game as the Deacons lead at 12-8. Olivia Manuel on the near side finds Berg. Berg throws it over to Rivard. Rivard looking, has Dvorak on her. She goes over to Vetter. Vetter just gets it off over to Huber. Huber works her way inside. Now she's facing a double team. Tried to find Vetter, but a jump ball, and it will stay with the Deacons. Huber inbounds to Berg. Berg over to Rivard, and Rivard out top to Manuel. Manuel over to Huber. Shot clock winding down. Huber throws it over to Berg. Out top to Rivard. Gonna have to do something. Huber launches the three. Too strong, but the rebound is grabbed by Rivard. She lost possession and then goes down hard. A whistle and a foul against the Saints. Foul going against Gerving, her first. Although that is St. Mary's fifth. Shanley only has 2 so far in this game. That's definitely a number to watch. Manuel inbounds now to Payne. Payne surveys. Can't find a way inside. Trying to pass this one off. She hits Huber. Huber fakes the shot, throws it out top to a wide open Manuel, who drains the three. The sophomore left wide open that time and makes it look easy.
And like you said, Jed, Shanley has had a couple people out for this game, and so Manuel getting a little bit more playing time, but she just took that shot and drilled that three like she's been playing this whole entire year.
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. Manuel looking great so far in this new role. Kopp gives that one off over to Dvorak. Dvorak then to Gerving. Gerving, spin move, inside for 2, off the rim, too strong. Dvorak couldn't get to the rebound, and now it's Deacon basketball. Huber, bring it forward. Taking it slow, gets the screen, inside, jumper for 2, off the backboard. Looked like she had it, but a little too strong. Dvorak tosses that one inside to Warner. Warner's ball intended for Kopp, knocked out of bounds by Rivard. Kopp inbounding. She gets it off over to Gerving. Gerving out top to Dvorak. Dvorak throws it to Kopp in the corner. Kopp back out top to Dvorak. She thought about the three, instead goes right back to Kopp. Now in the corner it's Smith. Smith facing a double team, tries to work her way out of it. Just gets one off over to Dvorak. Not sure if that was intentional. Fighting for the rebound now, and it won't matter as Rivard gets it. Payne bringing it forward now for the Deacons. Throws one inside looking for Rivard, but Rivard tripped up and fouled, it appears.
And like you said, Jed, St. Mary's has to be careful with the fouls. That's now 6 fouls, 1 more. That's going to have Shanley in the bonus. And so any more fouls, it'll be 1-1, which is great opportunity for points.
Absolutely, and that's Dvorak's second as well. That ball intercepted by Warner, and now a foul call against the Deacons. And that's Lily Rivard's second. Smith bringing it forward now. She goes over to Kopp on the near side. Kopp with Manuel on her, gets the screen, fires a long 2 off the backboard and in. That's what you need if you're St. Mary's. Got to get some life out of that offense. Huber wheeling around the far side. Gerving on her, gets it over to Payne, and Payne converts on that too. Working against the double team, it did not matter that time. Smith Over to Sefner. Sefner wide open for three. Could not convert, though. And that's a tough opportunity to miss if you're St. Mary's because she was wide open.
You know, we've been seeing quality shots from St. Mary's in all these possessions and everything, but it just seems like they aren't falling, Jed. Like right there, wide open, just wasn't able to put in the shot. St. Mary's, I think, just needs to calm down a little bit, realize the environment that they're playing and realize that they're playing Shanley, and then be able to sink those shots a little bit more consistently.
All right, Josh. I think a lot of what we're seeing here, I think both teams have equal defenses, or at least it appears so far. The thing is, Shanley's offense just seems to be a bit more potent than St. Mary's, at least so far in this game. Now, I'm not sure if that's, true for the whole season, whether or not Shanley's a truly better offense, not so sure about that, but at least so far in this game, they have been much better when it comes to scoring the basketball. So St. Mary's going to have to figure out something on offense because right now 10 points is just not where you want to be at here with 8:29 left in the first half. So Huber bringing it forward now for Shanley off that timeout. Has Smith on her, gets it over to Berg. Berg at the top of the key, surveys, finds Payne. Payne with a move to get around Kopp, throws one up with one hand, and that makes it a 9-point game. 19-10 now in favor of the Deacons. That ball just about picked off by Payne. Kopp able to get to it, though, now facing a double team, and Kopp unable to get past that. She'll fight back for the basketball. And it looks like we got a foul against Shanley. That's going against Hadley Huber, so this will stay St. Mary's ball. That time you saw the height advantage working for Shanley. We've talked about how St. Mary's has the edge with the bigs in the paint, but Shanley has some pretty tall players just all around, a lot of guards with some good size for high school basketball. And that time you saw the 5'3" Kopp working against two girls who are about 5'10", just a tough situation. Sefner gets the 2 that time, cuts it to a 7-point lead now for Shanley. Riley Payne going to bring this one up, working on Gerving. Manuel left open, but only briefly. She goes inside to Berg. Berg looking out to Payne. Payne fires a 3, too strong. Smith there to get the rebound, and now the Saints looking for a rush. Smith backs out, throws it over to Sefner. Sefner looking inside, has to go back to Smith. Smith throws it inside, then right back out from Warner. Gerving. Saints just cycling right now. Can't find an opening. Smith going to cut in. Awkward shot. Finds its way in. Sydney Smith getting involved in the scoring now, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're the Saints. Payne on the far side working against Gerving. Thought she had Vetter. Instead goes inside to Manuel, who gets it over to Berg, and an easy 2 for Sierra Berg. Smith carrying forward now for the Saints. Hands this one off to Gerving. Gerving, jumper for 2 off the rim. Rebound won by the Deacons. Olivia Manuel brings it forward. Working on Smith. She goes over to Berg. Berg now to Vetter. Vetter with 2 girls on her. Got it off over to Berg, but a travel going to negate what likely would have been at 2 points for the Deacons. So, Sydney Smith carries forward now for St. Mary's. She hands that one off to Dvorak. Dvorak looking, just able to find Gerving that time. In the far corner, it's Smith. Her shot partially blocked off the rim, no good. Huber throws it up to Payne. Deacons looking for a rush here. Payne, nowhere to go with it. Saints able to catch back up. Berg throws it over to Manuel. Manuel inside to Vetter. Vetter with 2 girls right there. That ball blocked and then almost stolen. And it will be last touched by the Deacons.
We just saw Dvorak there towering over Vetter. Vetter trying to get the shot off, but Dvorak just hands straight up was able to block it.
Yeah, Dvorak 6'1" and a long 6'1". She's got some long arms out there that she likes to throw up and contest shots and also knock down 2s.
Exactly right.
21-16. Now it's a 5-point game. A little bit of a late surge here for the Saints towards the end of this first half. Berg has it. She goes over to Vetter, then to Payne in the near corner. Payne not liking what she's seeing, but can't find anywhere to go with it. Finally able to get it off to Vetter, who goes over to Berg. Berg then throws it inside to Vetter, scans, and then finds Huber. Huber goes down, though. fighting for that ball. They won't call a foul. In fact, they'll say it's last touch by the Deacons. Close call. You can see both sides of it.
Both were going for the ball. That's good no call.
I'd say so. Smith brings it forward for the Saints, over to Dvorak. Now back out to Smith. Huber, right in her face. Saints cycling this one around. Smith going to take the three, and she sinks it. 2-point game now. Big time push here by the Saints.
And Smith has been taking the majority of the Saints shots here. She has taken the last 4 or 5 and seems to have just really helped improve their offense.
Well, yeah, if the Saints want to win, they got to get Sydney Smith going offensively, and they're finally starting to do that.
Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, they need to make sure that they just keep playing defense and then keep holding Shanley to stops.
Right, got to play both sides of the basketball. And an awkward play there. They're calling a foul against the Deacons. Home crowd not loving that one. And that foul is against Sierra Berg, Shanley's 5th of the first half. Got to give some credit to St. Mary's here. You know, they accumulated their 6th foul before the 10-minute mark of this half, I believe, and they have not picked up another one since then. So they've done a good job being very aware of their foul situation.
Playing smart basketball, which is always tough to do in a road game and everything. You're always hyped up, and especially in a game when you're down, you want to be aggressive. You want to take the chances. But then being able to say, I'm going to sit back a little bit, and then, like, in the long run, have the win, that's how you want to do it.
Absolutely, Josh. Keyword discipline. I think that's what we've seen from them a lot more as this game has gone on. So Huber carries forward now for the Deacons. 4:30 left to go in the first half. It's a 3-point lead. Huber over to Payne. Payne in the near corner. Surveys, looking for someone. She's going to give this one off to Manuel, who cuts inside, but a travel will turn that ball over. Gerving to inbound now, and Smith will bring it forward. Smith looking for the screen, and that one not working the way the Saints wanted. Smith tripped over Gerving, and that led to a travel.
Yeah, sometimes, your own teammates get in the way, but what can you do? You just got to move on, go to the next play.
So both teams trade some travels, and it's ball back in possession of the Deacons now. Payne hands off to Vetter. Vetter with nowhere to go. Why not just throw it up to Sierra Berg? And that is going to be a foul going against St. Mary's. Looked like they poked it away, but looks like they got a little too much of Berg trying to chase that ball.
And there's their 7th, Jed, and so now it's going to be 1-1.
An admirable effort, though, still by the Saints not to pick up number 7 until inside of 4 minutes to go. Berg hits that first free throw. Berg looking to make it 2 for 2 on this trip to the line. Unable to convert on the second, but that's okay as Riley Payne puts it back for 2. Deacons playing some press here, and now a heave. Too strong that time from Gerving off the fingertips of Megan Hike. Some impressive arm strength, but just a little too much that time from Gerving. That thing was flying. Payne has it now for the Deacons. It's a 6-point lead now for Shanley. Moves in, stymied, throws it out to Manuel, who goes over to Huber. Huber checks it into Vetter. Vetter nowhere to go. Facing some pressure. Gives it off over to Manuel. Shot clock inside 10 now. Huber going to throw up the 3 off the rim, no good. 3-point shooting has not really been there for Shanley early on. Gerving has it now on the near side, walks into a double team, throws one up, and the rebound grabbed by Payne. Excellent job getting it over to Huber, but Huber lost possession. Ball's loose on the ground. It went out of bounds. And they'll say it was last touch by the Saints.
Fantastic effort by Smith there. She was all over the place, just diving on the floor. She wanted to get possession of that ball. Yes. Unfortunately, didn't work for her.
Sydney Smith has really just been electric for the Saints, bringing a lot of energy, but still managing to stay disciplined out there for them. Three minutes even left to go in the first half. Hadley Huber carries forward. Huber on the far side, looking, goes over to Berg. Berg just gives this one off back to Huber. Now over to Payne on the near side. Payne gets it to Vetter. Vetter with the double team on her, and so that one's going to be intercepted by Gerving. Vetter forced into making a quick decision, and it turns out not to be the best one, as the Saints now have got the ball, and a foul is going to be called against Hadley Huber.
We saw earlier in the half, Jed, how Shanley was trapping St. Mary's down low whenever they passed down low. Then on the last possession, you just saw Shanley there get trapped by St. Mary's when they passed it down low. Looks like it can go both ways.
Absolutely. Warner fires a 2 just short. Hike there to get the rebound, and that shot not close. Looked like it was partially blocked by a Deacon that time. Ball almost intercepted by Smith, still able to knock it out of bounds, though, and she continues to be a pest on defense. Payne inbounds to Huber. Huber being patient with it. She goes right back to Payne. Payne looks inside, nothing there, tries to take it herself. Good D being played, a couple of screens set by the Deacons, and nothing comes of it as Payne will lose that one out of bounds. Neither team doing much in the way of scoring over the last few minutes. Smith now with it, out top for the Saints on the near side, finds Seffner. Hike has it out top. Great move to get around. Manuel just cuts through that defense like a hot knife through butter. Holy cow.
The acceleration there, Jed. I am impressed.
I mean, she just took off. That was and a great finish as well.
Left-handed, like,
yeah.
What more can you ask?
Exactly. That's exactly what you need if you're St. Mary's, although you don't want that as it looks like they'll pick up another foul here.
Falls on number 44, Megan Knight, first personal.
So Hike does pick up the foul there, but still, if you're St. Mary's, got to love what she did on offense for you. If for no other reason than the fact that the Saints are finally doing something in the paint after that play. You know, mostly it's just been shots from the outside, but finally they're getting something going underneath the hoop. Huber at the free throw line. That one off the rim, no good, but Berg able to grab the rebound.
That is the second time, Jed, that we've seen St. Mary's give up a foul line rebound. They really need to be boxing out and just making sure that they get on Shanley's people.
Well, Josh, rebounding in general, though, has kind of been a struggle here for the Saints in this game. Very aggressive play there. Huber and Smith, and Hadley Huber will pick up the charge.
And Jed, that's honestly a foul that can go either way. You saw that Smith was getting up into her. Hadley Huber, she just got a little bit off balance, threw the arm out, and the ref called it on her.
Some chippy play down there. And like you said, Josh, that can go either way. Something tells me if we see that again, they'll probably call the Saints, as that's just the way you tend to call stuff like that. Ball thrown inside to Warner, who gets the 2. Saints humming right now. They've got some energy. Payne bringing this one forward for the Deacons. Screen set by Rivard. And a foul appears to be going against Taylor Gerving. Under a minute left to go here in the first half. Just 2 points separate these two teams. Rivard's attempt no good, so she won't get the second, and the Saints able to grab the rebound. We were just talking about that, Josh. Good to see they're taking our advice.
Right?
So an opportunity here for St. Mary's to maybe tie things up. Seffner gets that ball under control. In a pickle, though, with some tight defense on her. Got it off over to Warner. Warner over to Gerving, thinking about the 3, trying to fake her way past Rivard. Excellent spin move. The 2-pointer is good, and we've got a tie game for the first time in a long time.
You know, St. Mary's just really has been making that push since they got down by 6 or 8 points, and they've just been trying to come back. Shanley here with the last possession.
So an opportunity to take the final shot of the half, but that ball is intercepted by Smith, able to get it off up to Seffner. Seffner could not get the break to go, throws up the shot, no good. Ball fought for, and out of bounds, saved briefly by Payne. Time running down, Smith takes the shot, and no good. So, headed into halftime, we are tied up 26-26. Josh, I don't know about you, but that first half certainly lived up to my expectations.
100%, Jed. For St. Mary's, Sydney Smith all over the place. She is fantastic. For Shanley, we got to see a team game. Huber, Payne, Berg, all of them playing very well. But then, momentum could change quickly in basketball, but the overall momentum, it started out with Shanley. But then, as this half kept going, St. Mary's just slowly gained more momentum. And right now, it's just about dead even. Excited to see the second half.
Yeah, a lot of swings all around the momentum, like you said, but should be an excellent finish to the second half to this game. If it's anything like the first half, that's for sure. So, folks, be sure to stick around. We'll be right back with you in just a few minutes. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School girls basketball action. We got a great game going on right now as the Shanley Deacons and the St. Mary's Saints are all knotted up 26-26. The two 5-0 squads going at it here. The game certainly living up to expectations. We're going to have that second half of action coming up for you in just a second. But first, we would like to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.club.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. So we're back at it here, just a couple seconds away from starting off this second half. Josh, your thoughts real quick here before we get going again?
I'm just looking for St. Mary's to keep coming out and being aggressive. I'm looking for them to keep having their high energy. As for Shanley, just a little bit better game planning, and then also just adjusting to St. Mary's high energy.
Definitely, I think the Saints have caught the Deacons off guard a bit in the sense that they're high energy 1 minute, then they're kind of falling apart the next minute, but then they're right back. So they've been a little inconsistent, and I think they're going to have to improve upon that here in the second half if they really want to come away with a win. Because you can keep it close playing inconsistent, but you can't win a game if you're not consistently doing what you need to do. So back at it as the Saints are unable to convert on that possession, and the Deacons try to take a lead here to start off the second half. Hand off here to Payne. Payne going inside to Berg. Pass was behind her, though, and it ends up out of bounds.
And Jed, in some of Shanley's wins, they've had to come from behind. And most recently, the last two games, they've had to make up points, major point leads. So I've been talking with some of the players, and they've been saying that, yeah, we're very much a second-half team. We're going to have to see if they live up to that right here, if they come out a little bit better.
Should be interesting to see. Smith throws that one over to Gerving. Gerving cuts inside. And then that ball goes right back out to Smith, then to Warner. Now inside, Seffner's got it. She's got the double team, though, and Berg able to take that one away. Huber throws this one up to Rivard. Rivard looking, hesitates, moves in. Whistle and a foul called against the Saints.
Hard hit on Rivard. As you can see, it shook her up just a little. Looks like she's doing fine now, but you could tell that that shot affected her a little.
Absolutely, Josh, and Shanley, as we mentioned, can't really afford any injuries as they're without two of their top subs. Well, Katie Visser, one of the first people off the bench, but Talon Hoffer, typically a starter, or excuse me, Taryn Hoffer. So
we'll see Talon next game.
Exactly. Talon Hoffer, of course, younger brother of Taryn Hoffer, an excellent basketball player in his own right. But as I was saying, Taryn Hoffer and Katie Visser both not available for this game, so the Deacons very thin on the bench. Rivard throws that one up off the rim, no good. Saints there to grab the rebound. Gerving has it. Double team on her, finds Smith. Smith going inside. That ball from Warner going to be intercepted by Payne. Payne bringing it up court, looking for two, no good. Ball fought for. Payne got her own rebound and then is fouled underneath the hoop.
You could hear the home crowd groan that first time when she went up wanting a foul, but got the foul the second time, made the effort play, got the offensive rebound. Good job by her.
Works out. So, Riley Payne at the line now. Still all tied up. She's going to have an opportunity to change that, though. Payne's first attempt in and out. No good. Payne's second attempt is good. So it's a 1-point lead for the Deacons. Smith carries forward now for the Saints. Finds Gerving in the near corner. Gerving looking. Fires the three. No good off the rim. Neither team really has gotten anything going in terms of three-point ability. Vetter throws up a quick two, though, and that'll work.
If your half-court offense isn't working for you, just chuck it down court and hope something does.
Moving inside here is Smith looking for two. She gets it, and the foul. So they might not be getting 3 points in the traditional sense, but
hey, who needs to shoot threes when you can just drive in and get the foul?
Exactly.
She'll be at the free throw line shooting one.
Smith's attempt is no good, so unable to make that a 3-point play.
And that is already St. Mary's third foul this half.
Well, if it's anything like the first half, hopefully they'll be able to really get that under control. We mentioned in the first half they started off with a lot of fouls, but were able to get those under control and settle down as the game went on. Huber throws that one inside, able to find Payne, who goes over to Berg. Excellent display of passing, and it's now 31-28.
Beautiful pass. Like we were talking, both teams trapping down low, and that's what you need to do when teams are trapping, is you need to pass very, very well, and that's what we just saw from Shanley.
Gerving up against Payne. Payne not giving an inch. Warner going back to Gerving. And Gerving's shot for three, no good off the rim. Rebound grab, though, by Warner, and she'll get two out of it.
No doubt during the halftime talk, the coaches got on St. Mary's to get more rebounds on offense and defense. Beautiful example there, getting second chance points.
Rivard goes over to Huber, who goes inside to Payne. Payne shot no good, and the rebound grabbed that time by Seffner. Smith has it now, waiting for offense to get set. Gives off over to Gerving. Gerving going back to Smith. Smith quick pass inside to Warner. Warner looking for another two. That shot, though, not really close. There were a couple Deacons in the area. Didn't let her get fully extended, and the shot ended up short. Huber goes over to Berg. Berg looking inside. Nothing there. Goes right back to Huber. Open three. No good off the rim. Again, the three-point shooting just not there at all. Jump ball, so it will stay with the Deacons. Riley Payne has it now, inbounding underneath the hoop. She goes out top to Huber. Looked like she was maybe going to try for three again. Instead, driving inside. Finds Vetter out. Vetter over to Berg, over to Payne. Payne looking, instead just goes right back to Huber. Looking for the home run pass that time, but played it safe. Huber over to Berg. Deacons continuing to cycle. They're going to have to shoot eventually or just have it stolen like that. Great defensive play made that time by Gerving. And a travel will negate what would have been a huge 2 points to give them the lead. That hurts if you're St. Mary's.
St. Mary's had a beautiful defensive rotation there. As you saw, they were just funneling to each pass. They knew exactly where they were going. They were able to get the steal. And so that travel really does hurt.
Let's see if the Saints defense can keep up that pace they had going. Vetter with this one at the top of the key. She throws over to Huber. Huber looked at Rivard for a minute. Instead, she'll keep it and give over to Berg. Berg with a shot clock winding down, gives it over to Vetter. Vetter facing a double team, throws one up. Rivard grabs it. Still nothing. Shot clock expiring. And it looks like they'll call a jump ball before the shot clock ran out. I think. Not quite sure.
Yes,
so
jump ball.
That is the case, which is unfortunate, really, if you're the Saints, because now you lose that alternating possession. So, Smith inbounds over to Gerving. Gerving gets it right back to Smith. Smith takes off down the far side, throws it over to Warner. Warner for two, gets it, and the foul!
That's the second time this game, Jed, that we've seen St. Mary's just be able to dissect a press. Shanley employing the full court press, and St. Mary's just moving down the court like it's nothing.
Moving at will, like you said, Josh, doing a great job of it. Let's see now.
And now that's a 2-point lead, their first lead of the game. Correct? Yes?
I believe so, Josh. So now let's see how Shanley responds after a big three-point play. Last couple times out, they've really been shut down on offense. A block that time as things continue to be going the same way. Vetter is blocked, and that ball ends up out of bounds. It will stay with the Deacons, but they'll only have 14 left on the shot clock.
Checking for the Saints, number 33, Maria Mann.
Maria Mann comes in now for St. Mary's, getting some fresh legs out there. Inbound finds its way to Berg, and Berg able to get the two and tie things up. 12:35 left to go in this game. Smith throws that one over to Mann. Mann able to get that one off over to Seffner. Her shot no good off the rim. Goes out of bounds, last touched by St. Mary's. Huber carries forward now for the Deacons, all tied up 33-33. Directing traffic. Trying to find someone to give it to, able to get it to Payne. Payne, though, with a couple girls on her. Same situation for Berg, and that ball is taken away by the Saints. Smith now will advance it on the near side. Sydney Smith gives that one off over to Pressler. Pressler out top. That time found Sefner. This one thrown up off the backboard. No good from Mann. Ball fought for on the ground. Ultimately going to be taken by Payne, though. Payne gets it off over to Manuel and out of trouble. Manuel moving forward, goes over to Vetter. Vetter fires the long two and gets it.
One of the toughest shots of basketball, Jed, is the long two, and Vetter just nailed it like it was nobody's business.
You're going to want to see some more of that long-range shooting if you're the Deacons, as there has not been much of it so far. And it looks like we had a foul going against the Deacons as they had a double team on Smith. And got a little two in her face.
Personal 13 foul.
Foul goes against Manuel, so now both teams with 3 fouls apiece.
Irving and Hike into the Saints.
Gerving with this off the inbound. Moving it slowly, goes over to Pressler. Pressler cuts inside, works herself right into Berg, though, throws it out top for a 3. No good that time from Hike. Hadley Huber moving it forward, goes over to Payne. Payne was going to go inside, but backs off. Has Vetter open. Vetter, a long 2 from the same spot, no good. Smith gets the rebound, and now she'll bring it forward. Smith cutting inside, looking for 2 and 1. The third and 1 of this second half for the Saints.
Very, very impressive. On the drive, is able to get past a couple of people and then just shoots it up, almost like a fling seen on the replay here. Just goes up and gets it.
And so able to get the free throw as well. It's 36-35 now in favor of the Saints. But that changes quickly as Sierra Berg gets 2. And now it's a 1-point lead for the Deacons. Uncharacteristic mistake that time by the Saints. Mann over to Smith. Smith fires over to Gerving. Gerving lost it for a second, but gets right back on top of it. Gerving moving in, throws it over to Smith. Gets the screen. Tight D, though, from Shanley. Under 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Smith goes over to Pressler. Out top to Mann. Inside to Hike. Got to do something. Shot thrown up by Pressler. No good. Ball heaved down to Vetter. Vetter open. Fires one. No. Oh, man. And the foul going against Shanley, I believe.
Yes.
Wow. An unfortunate series of events there for the Deacons. Vetter had the open layup. Pressure came from behind, forced a bad shot, and then trying to get the rebound, commits the foul.
And Jed, you have to wonder with Shanley's short bench if it's affecting their energy levels right now. They've truly only had one sub this game, with that being Olivia Manuel. And so the rest of them have either been going this whole time or have only had short breaks.
Oh, man! Taylor Gerving with the first three-pointer in a long time. Josh, on what you said, though, I totally agree. You got to imagine having only a 6-girl rotation is really affecting them. Saints, meanwhile, have been using a lot more subs. Right now, worth noting, Sydney Smith on the bench for the first time that I can really remember. The entire offense runs through Sydney Smith, and she carries a pretty big load on defense, too. So if you're a Saints fan, you got to be hoping she gets her rest quick and comes back out soon. Huber inbounds to Rivard. Foul called, though. Tight defense played by Gerving, the girl who hit the 3, and a little too tight as she slaps the hand of Rivard.
Number 3, Elizabeth Pressler, that's her second.
Or excuse me, that's Pressler. Huber to inbound now. 2-point lead for the Saints. Huber over to Vetter. Vetter had a hand in her face, had to get rid of it. Huber now has it on the far side. Spin move, trying to get in, throws it out to Vetter. Vetter heaves one over to Berg. Berg gives it back out to Huber. Huber over to Vetter. Vetter takes the 3, and an answer in off the backboard
from the corner, Jet. Did I see that correctly?
I
From a
believe
corner
you
shot
did.
off the backboard, sunk the three.
Not the prettiest, but points are points. Huge play that time by Julia Vetter. Hike throws it up, no good. Rebound grabbed by Manuel. She's in trouble though. The press tight on the Deacons, and a foul committed by Hike as she takes out the legs of Huber.
Fouls on number 44.
I'm still focused on that three, Jet. I have never seen that before. Wow.
Something else, Josh, that's for sure. Not much else you can say about it. So Huber carrying forward now after the foul. St. Mary's sits at 6, Shanley at 5. Huber over to Payne. Payne throws up the three, and now the long-range shooting is starting to open up. After almost no threes the entire game, we've seen 3 in the last few minutes. And now, pass out of bounds, St. Mary's on the ropes.
And look who comes back in for St. Mary's, Sydney Smith. Look for her to give St. Mary's a boost and really get back into this game after Shanley has been going off.
Absolutely, Josh. It's no coincidence that things started to slip when she took a seat. Now she's back out there, though, the leader of this team. Let's see if she can give them the energy they need. Pass to Payne, bounce over to Berg, and 45-39. Now a 6-point lead for the Deacons, their largest of the second half. Smith gets the screen, moving in, thought about the shot, instead gives that one off over to Sefner. Pearl throws that one inside, Sefner in trouble, and a foul called against Shanley, I believe.
I think it's jump ball. Jump ball.
And that is the call, Josh. You're right, a jump ball. Dvorak now in for the Saints for the first time in the second half, I believe. Interesting that she has been sitting for so long. Now we got a whistle and a timeout taken by the Deacons. .7:48 left to go here. Shanley taking the timeout, up 45-39. And so, folks, as we have a bit of a break, we would like to say don't forget that you can connect with Shanley TV on social media. Get the latest updates about Shanley sports teams, plus reminders about upcoming broadcasts. Like our Facebook page today at facebook.com/ShanleyTV, and follow us on Twitter at ShanleyTV. Also, folks, we've got some upcoming broadcasts we want to tell you about here. Be sure to tune in Thursday, January the 4th at 7:30 as South Shanley hockey takes on Fargo North. Also, January the 8th, that's a Monday at 5:45 p.m. Coverage kicks off of boys and girls varsity basketball. That game also against North. And then hockey is back again on the 12th as the Deacons take on arch rival Fargo Davies. Or excuse me, the Bruins, that is South Shanley, takes on Fargo Davies. So 3 games to watch for. Again, that's the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th. Be sure to check those out.
Folks, I don't think I'll be calling hockey, but you never know. So, who knows?
All right, Josh.
Who knows?
So Riley Payne to inbound. She finds Huber. And the Deacons, fresh out of the timeout. Interesting choice to take the timeout there. They were kind of rolling. They had been on a run, and you got to hope that timeout doesn't kind of suck out some of the momentum they had going, although that foul should help them keep it.
And that's just really up to the coach's style and how he likes to coach. He saw that his team was on a roll, but he most likely saw something in the St. Mary's offense or defense that he wanted to exploit even further. And so hopefully it works out in his favor, but I guess we'll just have to see in this last 7.5 minutes.
7-point lead for the Deacons after that. Looking to make it 8. Here's Payne, and she will. So a big lead now for Shanley. Saints have got to get some points here to keep this thing in check. Smith weaving inside, looking for 2. She gets it like a magician. I don't know how she does it, but it's impressive. Huber with Smith on her. Nowhere to go, able to find Payne though, stretches out the arms to grab that one, and a foul is going to be called against the Saints. And those fouls really starting to add up as they are at 8, and they've still got 7 minutes left in this game.
18 foul, Riley Payne at the free throw line.
Payne's first attempt, no good. Try number 2 is good. So 7-point lead here for the Deacons. Smith bringing it forward for St. Mary's. That ball just about picked off by Rivard. Found its way to Presler though. Now the shot from Smith for 3 is no good. Dvorak tips it. Ball fought for, grabbed by Warner. She's looking for 2, can't get it, but she does draw the foul.
Almost got the 3-point play there, but, you know, she still has the 2 shots on the line.
14, second personal foul. 16 foul.
Warner's first attempt, no good, too
Warner,
strong.
free throw line. Julia Vetter checking back in.
Saints are going to have to convert on these foul opportunities because they're not getting a ton of them. Second attempt is good, so now a 6-point game. Rivard on the near side. Has that ball stripped out of bounds, and it will be St. Mary's basketball. They'll say Rivard touched it last.
The home crowd just really wanting to call a foul or anything. Refs obviously not seeing anything, and again, like we've been saying, these refs have kind of been letting them play all throughout this game. That's no call.
Dvorak with it. Takes the 2, I believe. Won't matter, though, as it's going to be no good taken by the Deacons. Saints wanting a call. And a travel is called against Shanley.
Both crowds really getting into it, pressuring these refs to make calls.
Tough job, that's for sure. 6-point game, though. Lead is with Shanley. Starting to get a little chippier out there. We saw that towards the end of the first half. Pressure up, and how about Olivia Manuel, the sophomore, with the steal from Smith. Huber moving forward. Nowhere to go, has to back out. She throws over to Payne. Payne thought about the 3, instead moves inside. Has that ball intercepted, though, by Warner. She'll take it right back, though. Riley Payne for 2. Can't get it to fall. Ends up out of bounds, and they'll say it's off the Deacons. An up and down play there for Payne. Ultimately, though, it will be Saints basketball. So Smith now carries forward for St. Mary's, looking for Dvorak, just about taken away by Payne. Dvorak able to get it, though. She gets it over to Warner. Her shot no good. Ball fought for, loose down on the ground, then picked up by Smith, or excuse me, by Seffner, and they'll call jump ball. So it will be with St. Mary's. Smith throws over to Dvorak. Dvorak just gets that one off over to Mann, and that ball's out of bounds again off Shanley. And folks, we'd like to give a shout out to Lynn watching her niece who plays for St. Mary's from South Dakota. It's where she's watching, so thank you so much, Lynn, for tuning in. And folks, if you're watching the game, be sure to get in contact with us. Find us on social media. Let us know. We'll try to give you a shout out. Contested rebound that time as Smith and Manuel collide. And they will call a foul on Marianne Seffner.
19 foul. Olivia Manuel shooting the bonus.
And so actually I think that may have been Seffner, excuse me, who was fighting with Manuel there. Manuel unable to get that one to fall. Seffner grabs the rebound.
Again, we see how important those fouls.
Ooh. Yeah, Josh, like you were saying, free throw is going to be important down the stretch here. No doubt about that. And Dvorak that time overshooting her intended target by quite a bit. Pass too strong. Huber's pass just barely gets off to Payne. Payne moving forward with it now, working against Presler. Found her way out of that, got it over to Vetter. Vetter over to Manuel, off her fingertips, just barely saved. Smith and Huber go after it, and it will stay with the Deacons.
Very, very aggressive play from St. Mary's right now, running the full court press, trying to get Shanley to make a mistake.
Well, they understand points have been at a premium in this game, and a 6-point lead, 6-point deficit in their case, is a very tough one to come out of when it's been so difficult to score all game. Payne's shot that time no good, too strong, and now Smith will bring it forward. Sydney Smith Out at the top of the key, over to Presler. Presler in the far corner. Goes over to Mann. Mann now to Smith. Smith going inside to Dvorak, and a foul called against the Deacons.
And now St. Mary's is in the bonus, so Shanley has to be careful when they're fouling.
Absolutely.
First personal. At the free throw line, Tanya Dvorak tripping in, Caitlin Warner.
Just under 5 minutes to go here as Dvorak is at the line. That is good, so she'll get the second try. Second one is no good, but that rebound's going to be grabbed by Warner. Warner out top to Smith. Smith goes over to Presler. Presler right back to Smith, who gets it off over to Mann. Quick pass inside, shot for two, will not fall, but the rebound grabbed by Warner. And now a double dribble going against the Saints, and that's tough. They were finally possessing the ball well in the Deacons zone, and they turn it over. Payne heaves one down to Huber. Mann there to contest it, and Huber can't get it to fall. Berg able to get the rebound. She goes out top to Vetter. Vetter now to Huber. Huber inside to Berg, off her face, and still grabbed by Vetter, though. Huber fires for three, off the rim, no good. Rebound almost grabbed by Vetter, but it's Mann who ends up with it. Mann over to Smith, and now the Saints go back to work. Smith fakes one way, goes the other, collides with a Deacon defender, and is fouled by Payne.
Fouls on number 14, Olivia Emanuel, third personal, 8th team foul. Sydney Smith at the free throw line.
Sydney Smith, her first attempt is good.
Lily Lamard into the Deacons. Taylor Gerving back into the Saints.
Smith's second attempt is no good. Rebound grabbed by Mann, though, and she gets the two.
And that is one way to get a three-point play, Jed.
Exactly, Josh. A huge 2 points there for St. Mary's, now only trailing by two. Huber with Dvorak on her, goes over to Berg. Berg looking, goes back to Huber. That pass broken up. Oh, but the pass from Dvorak was intended for Warner. A miscommunication. Huber tried to capitalize but couldn't get that shot to fall, and now a foul going against the Deacons. Just like the first half, it has been an up and down half here. St. Mary's for a period looked like they were just about out of it. They started to trail by quite a bit, and just like this, they've got an opportunity to tie things up. Mann, her attempt is no good, and the rebound is grabbed by Vetter. Vetter going over to Huber. Huber slows up, and now a timeout called by the Deacons. 3:40 left, a 2-point game. Shanley taking the timeout. Josh, what do you think the Deacons are doing in that huddle?
Well, what's been happening is that the Deacons, they've just been overwhelmed by St. Mary's defense. One reason why St. Mary's has been so fresh right now and has had so much energy is because they've been very, very good on the defensive board. And they haven't been allowing Shanley to score any points. So Shanley, look for them to come out with a sort of a designed play to score some easy points, and then from there just play their game. As for St. Mary's, you just want to keep being fresh, you want to keep being energetic, and you just want to keep pressuring Shanley into making mistakes and not playing their game.
All right, well, we'll see if the timeout pays off for the Deacons. No doubt both teams really could have used it. Both squads playing a lot of the same people, very tired. Shanley especially, I have to imagine a large part of that timeout is just giving them a breather here before the final push of this game.
Mm-hmm.
So, ball inbounded to Huber with Smith on her. Huber looking, goes over to Vetter. Vetter going to take the shot for two, no good, and that rebound pulled down by Mann, but Riley Payne got in there to fight for it, so it's a jump ball, and it will stay with the Deacons. Great job by Payne getting in there and latching onto that basketball. Quick inbound to Huber, who goes back to Payne. Payne circles in, throws one up for two, and gets it.
First points for Shanley in a long time.
Absolutely. It's been a pretty long drought by their standards. Smith going behind the back, some fancy moves, able to get that ball over to Gerving, shoots for three and knocks it down. 1 point game. What a time to get the three ball going.
And I guess one thing that we see a change in is now that Shanley is playing a 2-3 zone now. One thing that was changed in the timeout.
And look at this, a break. Gerving going up for two, gets it on the foul. Oh, man.
Wow.
Just like that.
Fouls on number 20, third person.
Just get the pass down the court, all the way down.
Gerving fresh off of that three-point play, Josh, and now she gets two and the opportunity for another three-point play. Her free throw attempt is good, so how about that? 52-50 now in favor of the Saints. And things have really taken a turn for the Deacons since that timeout, Josh. Huber at the top of the key, slowing things down. That's what you want if you're Shanley. Things have been going a little too fast for you. Got to get things settled down, play your game. Payne going over to Manuel. Shot clock winding down. Manuel goes back out to Payne, who hands right back off to Manuel. Got to do something with it. Manuel throws up the three, but it's no good, and Warner has it now. Having trouble with the press, though. Smith picks it up off the ground and gets it over to Dvorak. Dvorak now finds Sefner. Sefner looking, goes back out to Smith. Saints taking their time. Pass inside to Warner. Warner goes out to Gerving. How about another three? No, it's short. Dvorak going to try to save it, but she could not. And Gerving way short on that one. Tough break for the Saints. They had an opportunity to really make things difficult for Shanley there. Huber takes it forward now, under 2 minutes to play. Huber into Berg. Berg looking, tried to get it off to Huber, had it knocked away, but able to regain possession. Saints being ferocious in their defense here. That ball appeared to be off of Berg, but that's not the call. They'll say it was last touched by a Saint. It was tough to tell. Payne inbounds to Berg, who goes out to Manuel. Now Huber's got it. Huber gonna hand off to Payne. Shot clock winding down, gotta do something. Huber takes the three. No good off the rim, and it's grabbed by Dvorak. Now 1:30 left, and the Saints have an opportunity to make this a two-possession game. Smith to Dvorak. Dvorak moving inside, little bounce pass, but a foul appears to be called against Shanley, and it's going against Riley Payne, putting the Deacons at 10 fouls. Dvorak's first attempt is good. Now a three-point game.
And that is huge, Jed. Making sure that the Shanley Deacons can't just tie it with an easy bucket.
And with the way both teams have been converting on three-point shots, three-point lead is a lot to come back from. And now look at this, 54-50. Saints up 4 after two huge free throws from Tanya Dvorak. Huber's got it, just 1:10 left. Don't want to rush it, but you got to go fast here. Huber over to Manuel. Manuel moving inside, looking for two. She's blocked. That ball taken away by the Saints. Look at this. Gerving's got it working against Vetter. Weaving in and out for two. Oh, man. 6-point game. The wheels have come off the wagon here for the Deacons. They got to get back on top of things. Huber's got it with 45 seconds to go. Tried to get the screen from Manuel. Now we got a whistle and a timeout taken by Coach Jacobson and the Deacons. Josh, oh, how the tables have turned. 56-50. Incredible. I don't know how it happened so fast, but the Saints have taken command.
And again, I think it has to do with the Saints' defense as number one priority. As we've seen, their offense is very, very effective, but all their good opportunities, all their fast breaks, rushing down the court, it's come from turnovers that Shanley has committed and from St. Mary's having great pressure. And so I'm looking, basically 43 seconds left. Shanley, I guess, has two options here. They can hope for a couple, 3 easy buckets, try to get layups, short shots and everything, but then you risk getting into the foul game with St. Mary's and everything, and St. Mary's has looked very, very effective shooting off free throws. Then you also have the chance for shooting the 3-ball, letting St. Mary's have a possession, and then trying to get another 3-ball and tie this thing up, which in high school girls basketball is extremely, extremely tough to do. Any type of 3-ball shot is not going to be the most consistent ever.
Tough at any level, Josh.
Very, very, very much so. So a tough situation for Shanley right now. Let's see what they do.
Tough, but certainly not impossible. 42 seconds, down 6. Just got to focus on these first points. You can worry about the rest later. Is it the 3 or the 2? Let's see. No matter what they do, they got to do it fast. Huber working against Smith, goes over to Payne. Payne, you can tell she wanted the 3. She's going to take it anyway. No good off the rim. Berg's fighting for it. Now you got a foul. Saints do an excellent job evading the Deacon foul. The foul called now against Manuel, but that only left 26 seconds on the clock. Oh, boy.
And these free throws are huge because this can push this to a 3-possession game, making it just about all out of reach for Shanley.
Seffner to shoot these. She gets the first one. It's now a 3-possession game. And I tell you what, with 26 seconds left, that is going to be very difficult. And Seffner gets the second, so an 8-point game. You have got to go fast now. You just got to throw up a 3 here. Huber shoots the 2, actually, they'll say. It won't matter, though, as it doesn't fall. Vetter backs up, moves in, looking for anything here. Also no good. Berg able to get 2. So finally some points for the Deacons and a timeout taken by Shanley. 11 seconds left, 6-point deficit. Now you've, pretty obvious here. You got to just foul as quickly as you possibly can. That is going to be difficult. The Saints have done an excellent job evading the Deacon defenders, drawing a lot of clock while they try to foul. And Josh, before this game started, you said something. You called this a statement game, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. The Saints obviously undefeated. Everyone knows they're good, but to come all the way out to Fargo into Shanley's gym and walk away with a win, that would really prove that you've come to play, that you're truly a contender. I mean, it's about the toughest test you can take in North Dakota high school girls basketball, and right now it's looking like they might just pull that off. So I guess what I've got to say is what a statement that should be if they come away with the win here.
Completely agree, Jed. Like you were saying, like Shanley, they have been the champions. They've been the team to beat for however long. And St. Mary to do this, it is very impressive.
So the inbound to Dvorak. She's immediately fouled. And that leaves 9 seconds on the clock. So if you're the Deacons, you really can't have St. Mary's hit either one of these. And it's not great that you fouled Dvorak. Obviously, you didn't have a choice, but Dvorak just hit 2 massive free throws earlier in this game, so not great to see if you're Shanley.
Checking in, number 4, Lydia Matter.
First attempt, no good. Quiet as a church in here, might I add. Everybody too tense to really make any noise. Second one from Dvorak is good. So that should do it, as it's now a 7-point game. Payne just got to heave this one up. No good off the rim and out of bounds. So the Saints will have it, and with 2 seconds left, they can just let time run out. And St. Mary's is going to come into McCormick Gymnasium and walk away with probably, without a doubt, the biggest win of their season and the biggest win in a while, really, for their program. They have proven that they are no pretender. They are a contender, knocking off the Deacons 59-52 on Shanley's home court. Josh, your thoughts after such a giant win?
Just very, very impressed by St. Mary's. During the first half, there was moments of inconsistency where they looked a little shaky, and even in the second half, where their defense kind of collapsed a little bit, but they were always able to come back and just really put on a show. For Shanley, I think you just kind of need to forget about this one a little bit, learn from it and everything. Like we said, you were missing a couple players.
Right.
You come back, you go to the next game, you get a win, and then you just keep going as business as usual.
Absolutely, Josh. The Deacons controlled a lot of this game. I really think they controlled the majority of this game. They played really consistent. They just kind of lost control of it at the end, let things get out of reach. But like you said, missing two huge players. I think when they get that bench back to full strength, if these two teams meet up again, I think we can expect just about as good of a game as we saw here. No doubt that these are two very evenly matched teams and two teams to watch for come tournament time.
Absolutely.
In the end, though, it's St. Mary's who comes away with the win, 59-52 in this girls basketball matchup. But folks, do not go anywhere, because in just about 20 minutes, we are going to have another huge game. St. Mary's and Shanley go at it in boys basketball, so be sure to stick around for that. Should be a fun one. Josh Johnson and I on the call for that, so stick around, folks. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School basketball action. I'm Chet Thomas, of course, joined by my partner Josh Johnson as we're getting ready for the Shanley Deacons and St. Mary's Saints to battle it out in a boys basketball matchup. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in and did not see the girls basketball game we did earlier, the Lady Saints took that one by a score of 59-52. Both teams came into that game 5-0, but the Saints left 6-0. Meanwhile, the Lady Deeks dropped their first game of the season, moving to 5-1. Big-time game, really statewide implications there. This boys game, though, the Shanley Deacons come into things 3-2. The St. Mary's Saints, meanwhile, are 0-6. But that is a deceptive record. Wouldn't you agree, Josh?
Completely. For Shanley, they're kind of middle of the pack for the East and everything. They have a good team. They definitely haven't hit their peak yet or anything. But then for St. Mary's, 0-6. All 6 of their games have been played against West Conference teams who are all very, very good teams and who would be more towards the top in the East. And so when you see St. Mary's 0-6, it is a very deceptive record because they have played some very good games, just haven't been able to close things out.
Absolutely, Josh. I mean, they started off the season against West Fargo Cheyenne in a game that they dropped by about 6 or 7 points. Meanwhile, Shanley was just beaten by West Fargo Cheyenne by 34 points in their last game. Now, I don't think that's exactly a super accurate measure of how this game is going to go. Like, I don't think St. Mary's is going to win this game by 25 points. But the point is, these two teams, anyone can win this game. I think we're looking at two teams who are in very similar talent-wise, just very similar teams overall.
And that's another thing with boys high school basketball. A lot of it is built on who's ever hot that day. Teams can be very good, very consistent, but once you get towards teams, how St. Mary's and Shanley are right now, it's more who's going to come out more fired up, more aggressive, and who's just making their baskets.
Absolutely, Josh. Couldn't agree more. Now, these two teams do have a bit of a history, not exactly on the basketball court, but on the football field. There's a lot of crossover between the football and basketball rosters for both these teams. And earlier in the year, the St. Mary's Saints defeated the Shanley Deacons in the Dakota Bowl by a score of 31-17, I believe. That's off memory, so don't quote me. But St. Mary's defeated Shanley in the state championship game. Two bitter rivals in football. I mean, about as much rivals as you can have in high school sports, and that really does spill over onto the basketball court. Tons of guys who played football against each other in November are playing basketball against each other here this afternoon.
Exactly like you were saying, Jed. St. Mary's and Shanley, they go back since Shanley was in the AA conference and everything. For the past 5 years, St. Mary's has just been harassing Shanley on the football field, just handing them loss after loss, Shanley being able to pick up one during the regular season last year. But even still, the Shanley players, they're looking for revenge in some way, and this basketball game could prove to be one way to get revenge.
Absolutely, Josh. And when you talk about that crossover, I mean, you don't have to look too much further. 4 of Shanley's 5 starters on the court tonight are football players, and if Caleb Chrisman were healthy, it would likely be 5 of 5, all being football players. The Saints, it's no different. Of their 5 starters, I believe 4 of them are football players as well. So, like I said, a lot of history between these two teams, just a lot of history between these guys out on the court. Should be a very fun game to watch.
Completely agree.
So we are about ready to start things off. The opening tip, it will be John Nordberg and Jake McKeever. And with that, we're underway as McKeever wins that tip back to Timian. And Timian will bring it forward for the Deacons. Seville has it on the near side. He goes out over to Cava. Cava moving in, throws one out to Hoffer, who goes straight back to Timian. Timian over to McKeever, now over to Seville. Seville moving along the baseline, throws it up, no good, gets his own rebound and gets the easy 2.
Nice job by Cam Seville, getting the Deacons on the board early, being very aggressive, driving in, and being able to get his own rebound and then score some points.
Yeah, Shanley setting a very fast pace to start things off. With it now is Cam Bites. He's going to give that one off over to Nordberg. Nordberg moving in, threw it outside, looking for Bradley, but it ends up out of bounds.
Arid pass. St. Mary's has got to take better care of the ball if they want to be in this game.
So Timian will bring it forward now for the Deacons. Moves to the right, throws it over to Cava. A little bounce pass. Cava makes a move inside against Norberg and gets the 2. 4-0 to start things off here for Shanley. Now with possession is Schmidt. Schmidt gives that one off over to Norberg. Norberg moving through, looking for 2, and he's fouled. Fast start to this game for both teams, although only one has been able to score. The Deacons lead it 4-0. You have to imagine the Deacons are coming out with some fire. The last game they played, they were defeated 104-70 by West Fargo Cheyenne, a score no one saw coming. Deacons are supposed to be one of the top teams in the East this year. 3 of their starters, well, if Caleb Crispin were healthy, 3 of their starters would have been starting since sophomore year, but still, they've got a ton of experience. Cam Seville and Jake Cava have been playing for a very long time, since freshman year. So the Deacons looking to come out here and make a statement after having dropped that last game by such a big margin.
Completely agree. And another thing, I know the coaches, any coaching staff, would be very mad about a team dropping 104 points in a high school basketball game. That is a huge amount. And so all during the weekend and everything, I guarantee you that Shanley was really pushing, focusing on the defense, focusing on how we're going to stop the St. Mary's attack.
No doubt spoke to some of the Shanley players, and they described their practice with just one word: tough.
Yeah.
That's been the practices all week, and no doubt in response to their performance against Cheyenne. Seville tipped that one back, but a foul appears to be called against the Deacons. And it's going to be on Cam Seville, his first, and the second on the Deacons overall. Hudson Bradley will be the man to inbound this. And he gives it back to Gendrew. Gendrew now carrying forward, goes over to Norberg. Norberg goes to the corner to Cambites. Schmidt cutting through, looks for 2, no. Cava gets the rebound. Cava moving forward, he sends a man down, and that is a charge on Cava. Not too much doubt about that one. Lowered the shoulder, may have forgot he was playing basketball.
You know, the football rivalry does extend, but we are playing basketball now. It was a nice big hit, but got to keep it a little bit more under control.
I tell you what, Jake Cava, preferred walk-on, committed to North Dakota State. Coach Kleiman got to like what he saw there. I mean, hey, he's not playing basketball for him, so.
Exactly. Cava's just showing off the expertise on the football field and then also on the basketball court. Got to love it.
So, 4-1 the score here. 16 minutes left to go in the first half. Timian working against Schmidt. He gives over to Cava. Cava hesitates, looking, throws it inside to Hoffer. Hoffer puts it up and converts. 6-1 now the score.
Talon Hoffer, the one really person who's not a senior on the Shanley varsity team, him being a sophomore, a very talented young man.
Right, the only non-senior I think we'll see play tonight or this afternoon. Another 2 points there, and Shanley rolling early on, up 7. Schmidt bringing it forward for the Saints, gives off, nice little fake that time from Norberg, just about lost his footing. Schmidt going inside looking for 2, can't get it. Ball goes out of bounds, last touched by the Saints.
Shanley has been very effective at controlling the paint this game so far, both on the offensive and defensive side, scoring almost all their points in the paint and then not giving any easy shots to St. Mary.
Cava, nowhere to go with it, so he shoots it himself and it won't go off the front of the rim. Gendrew advancing it, gives that one off over to Cambites, who shoots for 3, no good. Rebound grab by Malish. Gendrew with the interception, though. How about that? Going up for 2, and he gets it.
Timeout taken by the Saints.
And so St. Mary's will burn a timeout here despite the play from Gendrew there. And coaching staff not looking too happy about the performance early on here from the Saints. No doubt they wanted a faster start.
Looking at the coach for St. Mary's, when this team was walking over, his expression was just like, what's happening right now, you guys? Like, we aren't playing our game right now. We're down by 5. We're allowing them a fast start. And most likely what he's telling them now is like, let's calm down. Let's bring it a little bit more under control, and let's just get back to what we should be doing, which is a good place to take a timeout after getting a little bit of momentum with those shots. Look for St. Mary's to do something on this possession.
Certainly what they're hoping for, as you said, fresh out of that timeout. Seville has it now for the Deacons. He gives over to Malish. Malish fakes it to Seville, instead goes to Timian. Timian now goes to Cam Seville. Seville, nowhere to go, so he takes it himself, looking for 2, cannot finish. That ball grabbed by Schmidt and advanced to Gendrew, who throws it out to Bradley. Bradley nowhere to go with it. Gives it over to Schmidt. Schmidt cutting inside. Kicks it back out to Bradley. Bradley cuts through. Back out to Schmidt. A foul called, and that is an unfortunate break for the Saints. Looks like they'll call a charge. Schmidt drained the 3, though. Would have been huge for the Saints, but those points won't count due to the foul. Malish bringing it forward. Looking, a little bounce pass now over to Seville. Seville surveys, nowhere to go. Out at the top of the key, Seville gives off to Hoffer. Hoffer now back to Seville, over to Timian, in the corner to Cava. Cava for 3, no good off the rim. Rebound grabbed by Bradley. Cam Bites has got it now. He's going to give off over to Nordberg. Nordberg goes in the corner, and that shot no good from Bradley. Long pass, almost intercepted by Bradley. It will be knocked out of bounds. And so it will be Deacon basketball.
Checking in for the Deacons, number 15, Tom Erie.
Erie checks in now for Shanley, another football player. Seville looking for someone to inbound to. Got to get rid of it, and he'll just launch it out to Hoffer. Hoffer going to go back to Seville. Had a look for 3, instead he'll move it in. Going for 2 off the rim, no good. Cava gets to it, ball loose on the ground. Seville again will try, and this time he gets it. Schmidt advances this one for the Saints. Working against Cava, some fancy moves. Gets out to Norberg, looking back for Schmidt. Right idea, but it was behind. Not sure they were on the same page that time.
That is the 3rd errant pass by St. Mary's this game. Again, just need to make it a little bit more under control and get those passes to the people that they want to.
And they're moving the ball really well. We're seeing some nice moves, some great moves from some of these guys. It's just they, like you said, have not been able to hook up on the passes. That's cost them a lot of points. Erie's pass picked off by Gendrew nearly. He does lose possession of it, though, and so Erie gets back on it. A little bounce pass inside to McKeever. McKeever's pass off the bottom of the hoop and taken by Cava. Odd play, but Cava will end up with the ball.
Of course, we know that McKeever did that on purpose. You know, he's trained that throw over and over off the bottom of the board.
Yeah, something they try and practice all the time, the pass off the bottom of the backboard. Seville in the paint, no good, but a foul called against the Saints. That's St. Mary's first foul of the afternoon.
Also number 33, John Armstrong, first personal. Second team foul, Cam Seville at the free throw line.
Or second, I believe, excuse me. Seville at the line, his first attempt, no good. Try number 2 here for Seville. Also no good, so unfortunate trip to the line there for Shanley, unable to get anything out of it. And now Gendrew's going to bring it forward for the Saints. He goes over to Nordberg. Nordberg goes back to Gendrew, cutting inside, nowhere to go, throws it out top, and it's intercepted by Cava. Cava, a little bounce pass, tried to get it to Erie. Got a little too fancy that time, and that'll cost him possession. So Cole Gendrew bringing it forward now for the Saints. He's looked to be arguably their best player so far. No doubt they'll try to get him involved more offensively. He's done great on the defensive side of things. Cam Bites has it now for the Saints, works his way into a triple team, and Cam Seville takes it away off the bounce pass. Seville going up for 2, and he gets it. 12-3 now the score. The Saints going right back to it. Gendrew carrying forward, cuts down the middle of the Shanley defense and throws up an odd angle 2 that falls.
And hey, St. Mary's needs points right now, and if that's how points are going to come, you should do that every drive.
Hoffer over to Seville. Seville surveys. Kicks it out to McKeever. McKeever now over to Erie. Erie inside to Cava. Had it stripped briefly. Gets back on it, though. Launches the 2 and converts. 14-5 now the score. Got a whistle. And not quite sure what that was about.
I think just warning Shanley about a delay of game, just making sure that they just don't touch the basketball after the shot and everything. So no foul or anything.
All right. Good catch there, Josh. So like you said, nothing called officially, but a bit of a verbal warning. Norberg over to Cambites, now to Gendrew. Gendrew on the far side, and he appears to be fouled that time by Seville. That'll be Cam's second.
Number 14, Cam Seville, second personal, fourth team foul.
And now we got a foul going against the Saints. Armstrong picks up that foul. And that's the Saints' third of this game. Hoffer takes it out now for Shanley. Goes over to Cava. Cava couldn't hang on to it. Gets back to it, though, and gives it to Erie. Erie throws it back to Cava. Able to get it through the arms of Dosh, but that ball is grabbed by Norberg. Shot didn't have enough on it. Norberg goes over to Gendrew, takes a quick three that won't fall off the rim. Cava fires one to Seville. Seville behind the back. And that's some aggressive defense by John Armstrong. Gotta love it, though. I mean, if he didn't get the hand in there, that's a pretty much certain points for Seville. So Armstrong throwing it back to football, just reaches in and kind of arm tackles Seville.
But I love it. Cava with the strong pass down the court, and then Seville behind the back, trying to get it up.
Flashy basketball out there.
Mason Timian back in for the Deacons. In for the Saints, number 21, Jackson Weisman.
Shanley Deacons finding out their defense a little bit, figuring out who's on who. The substitutions.
So now the Saints trying to get something going. They have not been able to do anything offensively. Dosh launches that one to Norberg out top. Cambites has it. Cambites in a bit of trouble, throws it over to Gendrew. Gendrew moves inside, goes back out top to Cambites, almost had it stripped. Instead, he's still got it, and now he gives it to Norberg, who launches the three and hits it.
And St. Mary's needed that.
Desperately, as it's now 16-8. Still an 8-point deficit, but a lot more manageable than 11. Bisker's got it. He goes over to Cava. Cava looking for two. Makes it look easy. Ball launched down to Wiseman. Wiseman looking, throws one out to Gendrew in the corner. Gendrew all the way back over to Wiseman. Wiseman, a little bounce pass to Cambites. And now Norberg's got it. No looker to Wiseman in the corner, off the rim. No good. Beauty of a pass, but the shot wouldn't fall. Cava to a wide open Jake McKeever, who got rejected by Norberg, and then he couldn't put it back. Oh, man. John Norberg slapped that thing back.
And if you can't score points, if your team, one way to get your team fired up is just to make some insane blocks.
Look at that, just brutal. And for anyone who remembers the Dakota Bowl earlier in the year, John Norberg absolutely went off in that state title game. The go-to target for Cole Gendrew, the quarterback of that St. Mary's football team. Gendrew launching a three here. Looked to be maybe tipped, not sure. It was short nonetheless. So now Erie's got it and throws one in for two. Saints trying to get this one back quick. Dosh fires back out to Cambites. Cambites over to Gendrew, who moves it over to Wiseman. Wiseman goes corner to Norberg. Norberg fresh off the block, can't get the three. Timian there for the rebound, advancing it now for the Deacons. Timian ran into a double team, circled back, gave it to Cava. Cava moving in, that ball off the foot of Dosh. And Cava launches a shot, post whistle. Erie looking for someone to get it to. Just has to toss it out to Timian. Timian making some moves, gives over to Cava. Cava inside to Bisker. Bisker nowhere to go, over to Erie. Erie pulls up, his shot short, and the rebound's grabbed by Norberg. McKeever trying to return the favor and take that one away. Erie's got it, a jump ball called. And that one gets the Shanley bench fired up. And a foul called on John Norberg to go along with that. That's his first and the fifth on the Saints.
Very aggressive play from Shanley. Gotta love it.
Timian's got it now. Goes out top to Cava, just about taken away by Dosh. Cava's shot for 3, though, is well short. Gendrew has it, taking it slow up the court with Erie on him. Finds Norberg. Norberg over to Schmidt. Schmidt inside to Dosh. Dosh back out. Little bounce pass straight back to Dosh from Wiseman. Shot is in and out. Rebound fought for, but ultimately pulled down by McKeever. Timian with it. Motioning for McKeever to set the screen. Does not work out. Has to give it off to Erie. Erie has it now. Some fancy moves. Lost possession, though. I don't even think he knew he lost possession until it was too late. That ball flipped over to Gendrew. Gendrew with a great feed into Dosh. And, oh, man, beauty of a pass.
Putting on a show right now. He was just saying, well, I don't really need to look to make a pass. I could just do it.
And how about the calmness there from Cole Gendrew? He had a couple Deacons bearing down on him, and he just stood there solid as a rock, cool, calm, collected, and had a great feed over to Dosh. Shot from McKeever is no good. Great jump from Erie to get in there and contest that rebound, but couldn't get it. With it now is Gendrew with Timian on him. Gendrew throws it inside to Norberg, kicks out to Schmidt. Ben Schmidt for 3 off the rim, no good. Timian grabs the rebound. Cava now with it on the near side. Circles in, runs into a double team, and gets the 2. The three-pointer is Jake Cava's bread and butter. That hasn't been going for him so far this afternoon, but I tell you what, he seems to be able to get those 2-point field goals at will. Gendrew with it out top. Thought about going one way, instead takes it up the gut. Almost another beauty of a pass, but Cava gets the long arm up there and steals it. Cava driving in through Schmidt and puts it in for 2. Gendrew passes over to Schmidt, now to Dosh in the corner. Dosh with the double team on him, and a foul called against Timian. Or, excuse me, Jake McKeever. And that's the Deacons' 5th of this game. 6:53 left to go in the first half. Deacons in control, up 24-10. Hudson Bradley checks back in for St. Mary's. Dosh that time. Inbounds. And now Gendrew has it for the Saints. Gendrew hands off to Schmidt. Schmidt over to Wiseman. Wiseman going right back to Gendrew. Saints moving that ball around a lot. And now Schmidt drives in, somehow able to get that one out to Bradley. The shot from 3 from Gendrew, no good. Rebound fought for, but a foul called against the Saints.
Number 2, Hudson Bradley, second personal, 6th team foul.
So seeing a lot of movement from St. Mary's on that. Didn't really amount to much, to be honest with that, but lots of movement. Way to get something going.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, Josh. St. Mary's just kind of trying anything to confuse this Shanley defense because they're not getting any points right now. Now we got an injured Saint at the back of the play. Dosh appeared to take a shot to the face. He's back up and moving, though, as that shot from Wiseman's no good. Quick little bounce pass there to McKeever. Throws out to Hoffer. Hoffer for 3, no good, and a foul called against Bisker.
Fouls on number 34, Brandon Bisker, first personal, 16 foul.
So Wiseman will bring it forward now for the Saints. Wiseman going to hand off to Gendrew. Saints trying this same thing they did earlier. Wiseman gives to Gendrew. Gendrew fakes, moves inside, and the foul going against Shanley, I believe.
And that puts St. Mary's in the bonus now with 7 fouls on the Deacons. So
Cole Gendrew shooting the bonus. Checking in, number 5, Luke Cambites. For the Deacons, number 40, Jake Calvin, number 24.
So a nice break here for the Saints as Cole Gendrew is at the line. Gendrew's first shot is good, so he'll get another crack at it. And try number 2 for Gendrew is also good. So 24-12 now the score. Timian to bring it forward for Shanley. Some press here from St. Mary's. Hoffer winds up with the ball almost all alone, but then loses possession to Schmidt. Schmidt gives over to Cambites. Cambites going to hand it off back to Schmidt. Schmidt gives right back to Gendrew, and the Saints continuing this offensive strategy. I'm not really quite sure what the goal of it is. Schmidt going to go back to Gendrew, who takes a long contested three. That's no good, but I believe he was fouled by Hoffer.
So that's going to be 3 shots right there.
Well, that is great news for the Saints, especially with Cole Gendrew shooting him. Gendrew's first shot is good. Shot number 2, also good. And shot number 3, also good. Cole Gendrew absolutely lights out from the free throw line right now.
You can just see that it's mechanical for him. He just must have practiced that over and over just to be like that.
Right, very routine as Cava gets the shot and the foul.
Fouls on number 35, then Schmidt first personal 17 foul. Cava shooting 1.
And so that's 7 fouls here for St. Mary's. 11-point lead for the Deacons, chance to make it 12. And Cava does indeed complete the 3-point play. So Gendrew with the press on him, gets it off over to Nordberg. Nordberg now to Schmidt, quick pass inside to Cambites. Cambites in trouble, just able to get out to Nordberg, who cuts back in, then goes to Cambites for 3, drains it.
Go ahead. St. Mary's not having much production other than shooting the 3-ball recently.
Which hasn't been falling great for him, although they did get it to go that time. Good hustle there from Norberg, trying to keep the ball in bounds, but he's unable to. So 27-18, 9-point game, and Deacon ball underneath the hoop. Ball taken away by the Saints, though. Gendrew moving in. Great patience to let Timian fly by him and then convert, making it a 7-point game. Saints doing a nice job coming back from a big deficit. Still down by a lot, though. Timian and Malish volley back and forth. Timian working against Cambites. McKeever now in the corner for 3, short off the rim, and rebound pulled down by Norberg. Norberg tried to go behind the back, didn't quite work, still able to keep it out of harm's way, though. Schmidt, spin move, kicks it back out to Norberg for 3, off the rim, no good. Tough rebound contested by both teams. Saints come away with it, quick feed inside, Norberg gets 2 and the foul.
And that brings St. Mary's within 5 of Shanley. This is the closest that the game has been in a long time.
Absolutely, Josh. This game really looked to be in Shanley's hands early on. They were really kind of scoring at will, not letting the Saints do much of anything on offense. Looked like it was just going to be their game to take, and they've let the Saints come right back in this one. Norberg's free throw attempt is good, so it's now 27-23. Just 4 points separate these teams with under 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Deacons moving the ball exceptionally. Erie fires a 2, and boy, that was about as easy as it gets. Norberg driving in for the Saints, throws it out to Gendrew. Gendrew now over to Cambites. Cambites in the corner to Norberg. Fake the 3. Couple guys reaching in for that ball. Gets it over to Gendrew. He fires a 3-point ball that won't go too strong. Timian over to Erie. Erie pulls up for 2, short off the rim. Dosh there to get the rebound. Gendrew advancing it now for the Saints, working against Cava. He puts one up for 2, won't go. Timian grabs the board. Timian with it, directing traffic. Quick pass inside to Cava. Excellent work by Norberg going over top of Cava, but it won't matter because he got right back to it and got 2.
It looks like Cava's just been kind of scoring at will. Whenever he touches the ball, he seems to be able to put it in.
No doubt about it. Okay, well, Ben Schmidt answers quickly with that 3. I was just about to say, though, the only thing not working for Cava is his go-to shot, the 3-point ball. 5-point game now, 2:47 left in the first half. McKeever over to Erie, now back out to Timian. Boy, these Deacons can pass. Holy cow. Timian launches the three, in and out. There for the rebound is Norberg. Gendrew with it. Looking, 2 men on him, just able to get it off to Schmidt. Wanted the three, no room to take it though. Gets it over to Dosh. His three-point attempt is no good, and McKeever's there for the rebound. Hoffer with it now for Shanley. He goes over to Timian. Now over to McKeever. Wide open three for Jake McKeever. He's not missing that. Gendrew looking, that ball tipped by Timian, and he misses that layup. That is a tough break for Timian, and you can see he wants that one back. I think what threw him off was, I think everyone in the gym thought Cole Gendrew was going to contest that, and then at the last second he stops. Timian's going in hard and anticipating the attempted block, and so he just kind of overdoes it.
Yeah, one of the toughest shots in basketball is an uncontested layup, especially when you feel it's going to be contested, when people are racing down the court, and you should have what is an easy layup. It turns suddenly very, very difficult for you.
I tell you what, Josh, I don't know if that was design defense there from Cole Gendrew, just not contesting the layup. I can't imagine it was, but hey, it worked. So, and Cole Gendrew, man, what a game he's having. He's really been the heart and soul of this Saints team.
Yes, it was almost like the last game that we were calling the girls' game. Sydney Smith had a fantastic game.
Absolutely.
And the offense and the defense ran through her. Gendrew kind of filling in for that role for the boys' team here.
Right, seems to be a similar situation. So off the timeout, Gendrew trying to feed Schmidt there, but that one goes into the stands. Timian brings it forward for the Deacons, goes over to Hoffer. Hoffer straight back out to Timian, now to McKeever. McKeever over to Erie. Erie back out to McKeever. Now to Timian inside the Cava. Cava driving forward, looking for two. No, strong defense there by the Saints, but no one on Erie who gets the putback. Cambites has that ball kicked by Erie, and so he'll get it right back. Cambites throws that one out over to Schmidt. Now to Norberg. Norberg with Timian on him. Able to keep possession. Throws it over to Cambites. He thought about the three. He'll go back out to Schmidt. Schmidt with the double team on him. Gets it over to Norberg. Norberg all the way across to Cambites. No time for the three. Goes over to Dosh. Back out to Norberg. Open three. And he drains it. 36-29. It's a 7-point game now. Cava driving forward. Pulls up for two.
At will.
At will, Josh, absolutely. Schmidt looking for Cambites or Norberg, not sure who, but Cambites got it, so let's say him. Cambites pass going to be intercepted by Timian. That ball slippery as a stick of butter. Now Gendrew intercepts it, goes up for two, and he can't get it to fall. McKeever, I think, missed on the block, but it didn't matter because Gendrew missed on the layup. Cava barrels over a man. The foul's going against the Saints, and
the Saints defender was moving on the play there as Cava was driving in. You can see the defender lining up to get into the position to have a charge called, but refs were able to spot that one out.
Not much more you can say about that last 30 seconds of basketball other than ugly.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a different 30 seconds of basketball there, but ends up with the Deacons drawing the foul and a quick 2 points here from Jake Cava, so now it's an 11-point lead. Not enough time to run out the clock here in the first half, but the Saints can get close to it. Doesn't look like they're going to take that time, though, as Cambite's shot doesn't fall. He gets his own rebound and then puts it away. And those are the types of plays the Saints really need to be making. They can't keep relying on this three ball because it's spotty at best for them, at least so far. Timian over to Hoffer. Hoffer goes right back to Timian. The senior directs traffic, then goes over to Hoffer. Hoffer all the way across to Erie. Just 4 seconds left. Got to do something. Erie to McKeever in the corner. His shot, no good off the rim. And that'll do it. Gendrew launched one late that was fairly close, but after the buzzer. So after one half of basketball, the Deacons lead things 40-31. And Josh, Kind of a bizarre first half of basketball there. You know, it started off with the Deacons just dominating. St. Mary's came back, brought it within a couple points, and then Shanley with a late surge at the end. The Saints, though, doing a good job not letting it get too far out of hand. Down 9 points here, so not really sure what to say here. Josh, your thoughts after that first half?
If I'm St. Mary's, I really want to tighten up my defense. Like we were saying, it seems like for Shanley, just a couple of guys are just kind of scoring at will, just being able to drive in and then make a basket. St. Mary's, they have to do something on the defensive side to stop the Shanley attack. And then if I'm Shanley, just kind of rely that St. Mary's 3-ball isn't going to continue for them in high school basketball. It's for a team to have the 3-ball throughout a whole game is very, very difficult. And so that will kind of level off, keep playing your defense, and then keep having good offensive possessions and take care of the ball.
All right, so we'll see what adjustments they make. Folks, be sure to stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the conclusion of this one. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School boys basketball action. We got the Shanley Deacons and the St. Mary's Saints ready to battle it out here in the second half of action. But, folks, before we get you to that, we do want to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.club.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. So we're back to it here, ready to kick off the second half. It's been a bit of an odd game, but it's been a good game. Shanley started things off really in control for the most part. The Saints came storming back, and then towards the end of the first half, the Deacons started to pull away, but at the same time, St. Mary's hasn't let it really get out of hand like they did earlier. So I'll be interested to see what these two teams really have for us in the second, don't you think, Josh?
Completely agree. If you're Shanley, just kind of looking for same old, and see what happens. But then again, if you're St. Mary's, just high energy and try to keep it going, try to keep the game within reach. If you're Shanley, you definitely don't want that. You don't want turnovers. You don't want the arid passes and everything, because that's what allows St. Mary's to get back in.
And the thing about St. Mary's, they can come back so quick because of how much they love the three ball. You know, it kind of shoots them in the foot at times because they haven't been the most consistent. But when that three-pointer gets going for them, it's so huge because they can make up deficits so quick. Timian finds Cava. He fires a three, and that one falls. That's his first of the game.
But almost like Cava was listening to us and saying, well, St. Mary's isn't the only team that can shoot the three. We can do it too. Very
true. Cava and the three, you know, it's his bread and butter. And now a travel call against Ben Schmidt. Unfortunate turnover there for the Saints, trailing by 12 with 17:15 to go. McKeever over to Hoffer. Hoffer looking for McKeever. McKeever was not home, though, and that'll be an over and back. And that just seems to be a miscommunication. Those guys not on the same page. Unfortunate break there for Shanley.
That's two passes thrown away by Shanley, a travel by St. Mary's. Both teams need to tighten it up right now. Keeps a better possession.
Absolutely. Schmidt with the double team on him. Gets that one off over to Gendrew. Gendrew over to Cambites. Cambites back out top to Schmidt. Schmidt going to go back to Gendrew here on the near side. He moves around. Now looking inside, directing traffic. Goes over to Cambites. Hand off to Schmidt. And Gendrew now is just going to fire the three. No good off the rim. Cava. Great pass up to McKeever, and McKeever goes airborne to get the two. Norberg over to Cambites. Schmidt back to Norberg looking for two, and he gets it. And that's exactly what St. Mary's needs to do. I think they need to be a little more selective about their shot choice with those threes. I think they need to try to look for some of those quick twos because they're just going to be able to convert at a higher clip with those.
And also, once you're able to score points within the paint, that forces Shanley to collapse a little bit more, and then the three ball becomes even more open and more advantageous for you.
Just a more balanced game in general. An excellent defensive work there by St. Mary's, stripping the ball from Jake Cava underneath the hoop. Cambites now fires the three, too strong, and that's the problem. They make a great defensive play, but they're unable to capitalize on it there with the three-point shot. Hoffer for three, maybe two, doesn't matter those. It's off the rim. Seville goes back up, and he is fouled.
Foul on number 23, John Nordberg, third personal foul.
Norberg picks up his third there, number to watch. He's been a huge contributor here for the Saints. Seville to shoot two. They've already got a 12-point lead, looking to expand upon it. He gets the first one. And the second, no good, in and out. Gendrew carrying forward now, gives it over to Norberg. Now Schmidt going inside. Cambite somehow hangs on to it. Now finds Norberg out top. Norberg over to Bradley. Bradley for three off the rim. Schmidt can't get to the rebound. Seville using the height advantage. Seville almost lost it there. Gets it over to Timian. Now to Cava in the corner. And that 3-ball really starting to heat up for Cava.
The Shanley bench having some fun with their celebrations. Gotta love when the whole team gets into it.
Trying to get some energy going here. Gotta love it, like you said. Norberg near side moves in, goes over to Bradley, and Bradley with the 2. And now the Saints take a timeout, trailing by 14. And Josh, you know, the three-pointer just has not been working for the Saints right now, but when they go in and they actually look for 2, you know, when they're focusing on just getting 2 instead of 3, they seem to be converting much easier. They seem to actually, you know, be scoring on a much higher percentage of their possessions. So I think St. Mary's has got to just try and be, you know, content with those 2s, not be constantly going for the home run. I think it's a different ball game if they can do that.
And I think one of the problems that they're experiencing when they're trying to do that is being able to penetrate the Shanley defense. And so being able to get the ball in there in the first place with somebody not being double-teamed and just having those one-on-one shots, too, is very difficult for them right now. Credit to Shanley for playing some great defense. And Shanley overall has a pretty tall team, too, so most anybody on their team can play down low and kind of play in that area. And so for St. Mary's, yes, 100% they need to get some of those better, more consistent shots, but also figure out a way how to get into those areas to get those better shots.
And one thing you mentioned there, Josh, that I think has been a big key we've maybe haven't touched on as much, that height advantage for Shanley is very real. They got guys out there. You know, St. Mary's has only got a couple guys really who you could classify as bigs. You know, John Norberg at 6'4". Other than that, not too much in the height department. So Shanley, meanwhile, has got guys like Cam Seville at 6'5", Jake Cava at 6'3", Jake McKeever at 6'4", guys with a lot of height, and they're just using that to their advantage. Gendrew advancing this one for St. Mary's, runs into trouble, spins out, gives it to Cam Bites. Cam Bites now to Schmidt. Schmidt goes back out top to Cam Bites. He looks inside. Nothing there. Goes to Gendrew instead. Gendrew had a look for 3. Instead gives over to Cam Bites. Excellent move to get past McKeever. Throws it back out top to Gendrew for 3 and sinks it. 11-point lead now for the Deacons. Cava going to look to expand upon it. He gives over to McKeever. McKeever trying to go back to Jake Cava. Not a lot of space. Cava able to do something with it as he gets fouled, but the shot doesn't fall.
Falls number 3, Cole Gendrew, first personal. Second team.
And that's Cole Gendrew. That's only his first foul of the game, which is a pretty incredible stat. Has not been really doing anything in the way of fouls, obviously. And yet he's been logging more minutes than anyone else on that St. Mary's squad.
Very smart, very disciplined player.
That free throw from Cava is no good, so it's a 12-point lead now as Cole Gendrew brings this one up. He goes over to Schmidt on the near side. Schmidt out over to Cam Bites. Cam Bites looking. Quick pass inside to Norberg. Back out to Schmidt. Schmidt for 3. No good off the rim, and the rebound pulled down by Malish. Another one of those big guys for Shanley checking in at 6'4". Cava fires a shot for 3. Didn't quite get set there. Still fairly close, but ended up going off the rim. Gendrew looking. Had Schmidt for a minute. Now we'll hand off to Schmidt. Schmidt quick inside to Norberg. Back out to Gendrew. Not enough time to set for the 3. Cam Bites moves in. Nowhere to go. Saints being boxed out really nicely by Shanley. Norberg kicks it back out to Cam Bites for 3. Too strong off the rim. Cava pulls down the rebound. He heaves that one down to Seville. Seville moving in, loses possession, and they'll say it's out of bounds off the Deacons. Again, nice defense from the Saints. Cam Bites, bounce pass over to Norberg. Norberg out to Schmidt. Schmidt moving in, throws it over to Cam Bites. Schmidt's got it with 3 guys on him, though. Norberg able to pick it up off the ground, gets it over to Gendrew. Gendrew moving in for 2 somehow. Cole Gendrew gets it, and I don't know how Cole Gendrew does it, but every time he touches the ball, he seems to make something positive happen. Norberg has that one stripped. Malish ends up with it, and now Timian has it for the Deacons. He fires one all the way down to Seville. Seville fakes, gives it off to Cava for an easy 2. Bradley goes over to Cambites, now to Gendrew. Gendrew kicks it out to Schmidt. Schmidt thought about the 3, instead goes in looking for the 2, has it poked away right into the arms of Cam Seville. Seville over to Cava. Cava gets the 2 and 1.
And you can see Cava's just kind of having a fun time out there. He's just kind of doing what he wants a little bit. So he gets the pass from Cam Seville, just goes up with it, able to get the easy buckets.
Yeah, St. Mary's just not having an answer to Jake Cava. Cava fires and hits. So 15-point lead now for the Deacons. Nordberg over to Gendrew. Gendrew back out over to Nordberg. Nordberg inside to Armstrong. Armstrong getting his first minutes since the beginning of the game. Logged 3 fouls and had to sit as they didn't want him to foul out, but now making a good impact here as he gets the 2 points.
Basket by Armstrong.
The big thing with Armstrong is he is a listed 6'3", so he gives some height to this Saints squad that really needs some. Nordberg able to get that rebound and more importantly stay out of bounds, but Seville going to poke it away, although that will go out.
Seville wants that one back. He had a nice poke, nice defensive play, but a little bit more under control and would have had an easy layup.
Yeah, just unable to get that one back in his possession before it went out. Wiseman with it now for the Saints. Goes over to Nordberg. Nordberg back to Wiseman. A little bounce pass over to Gendrew. Gendrew pulls back, throws it over to Wiseman out top. Wiseman now near side to Cambites. Cambites inside to Nordberg. Out to Gendrew for 3. No good off the rim. Rebound grab by Wiseman. Gets it into Armstrong. Spins around. Throws it out to Nordberg. And Nordberg's fouled underneath the hoop.
And he's going to be shooting 2 now.
And Hoffer picks up his second there.
Second team foul. John Nordberg, shooting 2.
Nordberg's first attempt is good. See on the replay there, just good compete from St. Mary's.
And now Braden Bars is in, a junior who hasn't seen much time, but see what he can do.
And Nordberg's second good as well. Yeah, Josh, bit of an unexpected substitution. We said earlier we didn't think we'd see any non-seniors other than Talon Hoffer, but Braden Barr's a pretty good player in his own right, so not shocking to see him out here, I suppose, as Gendrew intercepts that pass from Cava. Just haven't seen him used a whole bunch this season. Wiseman with it. A little bounce pass finds its way over to Cambites. Cambites inside to Armstrong. Back out to Wiseman. Had an opening. Now he'll go into Nordberg. Nordberg gets 2. So in 9-point game. Cava goes over to Erie. Erie moving in, finds Malish. Excellent play there from the Deacons.
Fantastic passing. Cava across the court. Forgetting his name. But to another Deacon, able to get it. And then just another fantastic pass to Malish to finish it off.
Right, as Cam Seville intercepts that pass with 10:21 remaining here in the second half. Seville shooting 2 as the Deacons lead by 11. First one is good. And the second in and out, no good. Armstrong there to get the rebound. Gendrew bringing it forward. He slows down. Then throws it over to Cambites. Cambites has Wiseman open, but the lane is blocked nicely by Erie, and that ball is kicked out of bounds by Malish. Neither team committing many fouls here. St. Mary's with 4, Shanley with just 2. Quick inbound by Cambites, finds Gendrew. Gendrew throws it back out to Cambites. Open 3, no good off the rim. Nordberg, though, puts it back for 2.
Wanted a foul, but, you know, he shoved it up there, was able to get the shot.
Got to be happy with the points there. Seville looking to move it in. Couple nice little moves, goes over to Bars. Bars now over to Erie. And Erie, Armstrong took a shot, went down hard there. There was a whistle, and I think a foul against the Saints before that.
Number 10, Drew Dosh, in for the Saints.
So there was indeed a foul as St. Mary's fifth, and so Cava will take it and inbound from underneath the hoop. Some substitutions here as well for both teams as Brandon Bisker checks in for the Deacons and Drew Dosh for St. Mary's. Seville out top to Cava. Cava looks, fires the three, too strong, and a whistle and a foul goes against Bisker.
Calls up number 34, Brandon Bisker, his second.
That's Bisker's second, and so Drew Dosh will inbound from underneath the hoop. He goes to Wiseman, who goes right back to Dosh. Now over to Cambites. Cambites throws to Wiseman. Now Gendrew looking out top to Cambites. Nordberg has it on the far side. Nordberg back to Cambites. Saints cycling this ball. Inside to Nordberg looking for two. Could not get it, but he was fouled.
I thought that was going to be an alley-oop for a second, Jed.
Yeah, no kidding. Nordberg got up there and just didn't have enough height to actually put that one in, but he was able to draw the foul. Nordberg's first attempt, no good off the front of the rim. Jake McKeever checks in as Cam Seville takes a seat. Norberg's second attempt in and out, so a tough break there as Norberg goes 0 for 2 on that trip to the line. Uncharacteristic of him, we've seen him hit a couple earlier in the game. Cava with quite the pass that's going to be tipped into the arms of Wiseman. Wiseman driving forward, and they will call the foul on Bars. The Deacons want to charge, but they won't get it.
Brave play by the junior, getting a run over here.
Whew. Yeah, you know what? We talked about him not getting a ton of minutes, but I tell you what, he is making the most of them right now. Like you said, sacrificing the body, making the tough play. Wiseman's first attempt, no good off the rim, and these missed free throws are starting to add up for the Saints. Wiseman's second, no good as well, so really tough here for St. Mary's. That's 4 points that they've left out there on the last possessions. Bars has it now. Will bounce pass over to McKeever. McKeever into Cava. Cava out top to Erie. Wide open for three. Short off the rim. Cava there to get the rebound, though. And that attempt also no good off the back of the rim. Erie there to get the rebound. Erie hands off to Bars. Bars out to McKeever. McKeever now over to Cava. Cava weaves in, gets fouled, but can't get the shot to fall.
Fouls on number 23, John Nordberg, fourth personal foul.
And Nordberg picks up his fourth. That is not a great number for the Saints. He's been one of their best players, and now he's in a little bit of foul trouble. Cava's first attempt is good.
And, yep, looks like Nordberg's going out now. Give him a little bit of rest and then send him back in with a little bit less time.
Hudson Bradley comes in his place. Cava's second attempt, meanwhile, is also good. Dosh into Wiseman. Wiseman back to Dosh, who goes straight back to Wiseman. He goes across the court to Gendrew. Gendrew into Cambites, who goes out to Wiseman. Back to Cambites inside to Dosh. Dosh underneath the hoop to Gendrew. Saints cycling this one. Cambites for three. Sinks it.
Wow. That was a deep three by him.
Deep three, but he made it look easy. Very pretty shot that time from Luke Cambites. McKeever over to Erie. Erie's ball a little high. Cava able to get it, though, and he's fouled, and the shot falls.
I don't know exactly how that ball went in, Jed, but it did.
I don't think Jake Cava really knew either. You could see the smile on his face, though. He'll take it.
17 foul. Cava shooting one.
And Cava hits the free throw as well. He has got a whole bunch of points in this game.
I think well over 30 points. I'm
not sure on the official total yet. We'll see if we can get that, though. But Cava just having a monster of a game. And that ball ends up out of bounds. So we'll stay with the Saints. Dosh inbounds and not on the same page there. He was looking for Gendrew. That's a really tough break there for the Saints.
Miscommunication between the two.
And we've seen a lot of that here from St. Mary's. Left a lot of points out there with some errant passes and some just miscommunications. Gendrew gets in there, almost takes it away from Bars. Bars, though, able to save it and get it over to Cava. McKeever wide open for 3 off the front of the rim, though. Gendrew moving forward, looking for someone. He's got Cam Bites. Cam Bites, another 3, won't go. Gendrew there to grab the rebound. Cole Gendrew out top. Making some moves, tried to get past Erie, and the foul called against Erie. And that is foul number 6 on the Deacons.
16 ball. Substitutions, Talon Hopper and Mason Timian.
So, starters coming back in for Shanley. Hoffer and Timian. Bars and Erie take a seat, both having played quite well in relief, I'd say. Quick inbound here as Cam Bites goes back to Wiseman. Straight back to Cam Bites. He's in trouble, got the double team on him. Gets it over to Dosh, now to Wiseman. Now back to Cam Bites. Inside the Dosh, over to Wiseman. Had a look for 3, doesn't take it. Goes over to Cam Bites on the far side. Cam Bites moving in along the baseline. Kicks it out to Dosh, back out top to Wiseman. Wiseman going in, looking for 2. No, won't go. McKeever there for the rebound. Timian has it for Shanley. Surveys, goes over to Bisker. Bisker now to McKeever. McKeever back out top to Bisker. Deacons moving along outside the arc. With it is Cava. Cava spin move working against Gendrew. Will not fall. There for the rebound is Cam Bites. Cam Bites to Wiseman. Wiseman back to Cam Bites. Saints just cannot find a hole in this Deacon defense. So Gendrew makes one and has a nice little pass over to Dosh, but Dosh's ball tantalizingly close to dropping, but it just misses. Just doesn't quite have the energy to fall in. McKeever, another open 3. This one in and out. Tough break, looked like he had it. Gendrew works his way around Timian. Cuts, throws it over to Bradley. Bradley shorts it. Fight for the rebound, ends up in the arms of Gendrew only momentarily, though, as it's on the ground and picked up by McKeever. Timian heaves one down to Cava. Cava for 3 was fouled as he shot.
Fouls on number 3, Cole Gendrew, 3rd personal.
And that's Gendrew's 3rd now.
Jake Cava, shooting 3.
That just seemed to be like one long possession. Neither team really able to do that much with it, just going back and forth, back and forth. Finally, a foul happening.
Both defenses looking a little tighter here in the second half, especially the Saints, I think, have really tightened things up on defense. Just haven't been able to get that offense going, which has really led to a lot of their struggles here. Jake Cava, meanwhile, is just draining free throws.
Number 23, John Nordberg.
Some substitutions here as Nordberg and Schmidt come in. It's that starting 5 out there again for St. Mary's. Meanwhile, I don't think Cole Gendrew has taken a seat this entire game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall ever seeing him sub out.
I think there might have been one small chance, but if he did, it was for a very, very short time.
Yeah, Cole Gendrew demonstrating some incredible stamina as Talon Hoffer leaves that one short and looks a little upset at himself there that time. Schmidt has it on the far side. Deacons catch up to him. Able to get that one off over to Norberg. Norberg behind the back to Bradley. Had that one swatted, but it was a foul committed by McKeever, I believe.
Foul number 5, Talon Hopper, 3rd personal.
They'll call it against Hoffer, actually, and that's his 3rd. 15-point lead here for the Deacons. 5:24 left to go. Bradley's first attempt is good.
Just see that no-look pass there.
Beauty from Norberg, yeah. Second attempt, no good off the rim. Erie there for the rebound. Saints playing some tight D. Deacons doing a nice job getting out of it. Timian wheeling around, throws one up for 2. Drops it, nothing but net.
Nice floater. You got to do what you got to do when you're lacking in the height department. Float it over everybody.
Yeah, Timian from that guard position, checking in at about 6 foot, working against a bit of a taller defender. Like you said, just makes up for it nicely. Cava tosses that one down to Erie. Erie, what a move underneath. Couldn't get it to fall, though. And now Schmidt's got it. He tosses it over to Cambites. Cambites has a double team against him and an over and back, thanks to some solid defense from Tom Erie. $16-point lead here for the Deacons. Starting to ice this one with just 4:41 left to go. Saints have done a nice job keeping it to a deficit around 10 points in the second half, but they haven't been able to close within that margin. And now they've let Shanley jump out to a bit of a larger lead. And now we got a foul going against the Deacons.
Fouls on number 40, Jake Cava. Second foul.
Cava picks up his second there. Gendrew's got it with 2 men on him. Goes over to Cambites. Nordberg with it now. Back to Cambites. Erie on top of him. Circles around looking. Cambites tosses that one over to Schmidt. Just saves the over and back. And Bradley, great job corralling it. Bradley inside to Norberg. Great fake. And Norberg gets the 2 points to fall. So 14-point game now. And the Saints take a timeout. So 14 points, 4 minutes left. Definitely not impossible. But the way the game's been going, the Saints are going to have to do something different than what they have been doing, because offensively, they just haven't been getting enough done.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I know for a period of time that they were running a kind of trap on the Shanley offense, but even something like that, where it's even a more aggressive trap, something to create more mistakes by the Shanley offense, to give them more opportunities. So it's kind of a fix on both sides. If you're a little bit more aggressive on defense, that creates more opportunities on offense, which helps you with your scoring. On the flip side, if you become more aggressive, you'll most likely commit more fouls, and then that leaves more opportunities for Shanley if they're playing smart ball to expose you and score more points.
Very true. So we'll see what the Saints do here with 4:08 on the clock, down 14. Folks, real quick before we get back to the action, we want to tell you that on Saturday, January the 20th, starting at noon, we will be bringing to you the Shield Shootout as Fargo Davies takes on Fargo North at 12 in boys varsity hockey, and then at 2:30, South Shanley takes on Cheyenne. That broadcast is also going to be available on statewide television on WDAY's 6.2 The Justice Network. So, folks, be sure to check that out. We're going to be doing our first game featuring a non-Shanley squad, so that will be a fun one. Be sure to check it out. Again, that's the Shield Shootout, January 20th, starting at noon. Hoffer bringing it forward for the Deacons, and a foul going to be called against the Deacons, 10-second violation going to be called against the Deacons. So that's a start here if you're St. Mary's. Get the ball back. Now let's see if they can get some points. Ben Schmidt with it for the Saints. Throws one back to Cambites. Cambites got a double team on him. Goes into Norberg. Norberg over to Gendrew. Open three. Takes it. In and out. Can't get it to fall. Bradley fighting for the rebound there. And a foul going to go against the Deacons.
Also number 12, Mason Timian.
And for St. Mary's to get back in this game, they have to take advantages of easy points like this with free throws.
Absolutely. They've left a lot of points on the board in the free throw department as Timian picks up his third. Meanwhile, Hudson Bradley at the line converts on his first. Bradley's second attempt is good as well. So 12-point lead for the Deacons. Cava back to McKeever, now to Timian. Timian moving along, able to escape a couple Saints defenders, gets it over to McKeever. McKeever now back to Timian, inside to Cava. Cava just has to give it back off to Timian. Timian looking, throws over to Cava. Cava wide open for three, off the rim, no good. Funny enough, the Deacons have had some trouble with their open looks for three, but when they're shooting contested, it's been pretty solid. Gendrew's three-pointer, meanwhile, no good. Bradley gets the rebound. Little bounce pass back out to Cambites. Cambites moves in, throws it out to Bradley. Bradley for three, in and out, no good. Timian had that one poked away. It was a nice defensive play, although Cambites will pick up a foul.
And at this point, if you're St. Mary's, you're willing to risk that foul in hope for just a turnover.
Right, you're trying to generate some opportunities here on defense, so you just got to try and take those. You're down 12. If you end up letting them make a trip to the line, it is what it is. And that time, Timian unable to convert, although that ball's knocked away from Norberg, and Cava converts for 2. Gendrew fires that one down to Cambites. Some nice passing here from the Saints. Got to get some points out of it, though, and that one's turned over to Timian. Cava bringing it forward, looking for 2, gets it to fall. Ball stolen away from Cambites. The Deacons can't get on top of it, though. It's a steal, although not the prettiest. And Shanley is rolling right now as Cava has that one poked out of bounds by Gendrew. Jake Cava comes in at about 6'3", Cole Gendrew at 6 foot, but they are matching Gendrew on Cava all game long. Well, most of the second half, I should say, because they know the kind of defender Gendrew is, and they know that if they want to try and stop Cava, they got to put their best on him.
Falls on number 23, John Norberg. That's his 10th team foul.
So Jake Cava going to make a trip to the line, and a little bit more pressure on this trip than you'd think, because we believe that Jake Cava is just 2 points away from hitting 1,000 career points.
Always a nice accomplishment in high school basketball.
No doubt about it. Not many guys join that club as he hits the first, just 1 point away. And the second is good as well, as Jake Cava now hits 1,000 career points. And you got to tip the cap to Jake Cava on a heck of a career. Still a lot of it left to go. 1,000 points, a great accomplishment. And folks, if you've been watching this game, I think you know why he's got 1,000 points. A fantastic scorer and a fantastic career with the Shanley Deacons.
And you could just see the whole Shanley bench. You could hear the crowd cheering and everything. Very, very gracious of Jake Cava playing. Very appreciative.
Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations, Jake.
Crowd comes to their feet. Tip of the cap to Jake Cava and all he's done for this program. And he'll get to take that ball. And he throws that one up to his parents. Perfect pass up to his parents, too.
There we go.
So a nice accomplishment there for Jake Cava. As for the game at hand, 2:06 left to go. 18-point lead for the Deacons. Look to have this one in control. Don't you love they just got those 2 points on a free throw, too?
Yeah.
Talk about pressure. Not a situation where you'd normally think there's a lot riding on it, but 2 points for 1,000. Got to hit both of them. That's pretty cool. Cava throws it over to McKeever. Now back to Cava. Straight back to McKeever. Timian's got it at the top of the key. Deacon cycling this ball outside the arc. Cava drives in and has it knocked away. That'll be St. Mary's basketball. Wasik and Peterson now going to check in for the Saints. For the Deacons.
St. Mary's down by 18 points right now. A minute 53 left. Just technically possible to still get back into this game, but very, very, very difficult.
Right. They kept it fairly close here in this second half. It was just towards the end of this game where Shanley really kind of built up that lead. Ultimately, I think it was just offensively where the Saints weren't really able to make up that ground. They have given up a decent amount of points, but 74, well, check that, 76. 76, not a bad total to give up, but you have to imagine if they could get a bit more going on offense, they'd maybe shore up that defensive side too.
And also when you have players like Cam Seville and Jake Cava putting on a show for the Deacons, it's tough.
Very tough to stop and slow down, yeah. McKeever brings it in, hands it off to Wasik. Wasik is fouled as he goes up there. 20-point game, minute 05 on the clock.
Wasik, senior, able to get some playing time, which is nice. Let's see if he can score some points, hit down the free throws.
Wasick's attempt, no good.
Turning in for the Deacons, number 44, Daniel Warner, number 52.
Got some younger guys subbing in for the Deacons.
Good experience here. You see the junior, Daniel Warner, come in. And the sophomore, Joe Cava, the younger brother of Jake Cava, will come in as well. And that's one thing for the Deacons. They are going to be jumping at any opportunity to play some of their younger guys this year, as when this senior class graduates, they will return one starter in Talon Hoffer, and Hoffer not always a starter either. So they're going to have a lot of work to do next year. So good to see them getting some guys experience. Know that the cupboard won't be totally empty after this season.
Basket by Isaac Armstrong.
Armstrong gets the 2 there as Bars brings it forward. 41 seconds left to go here. Cava out to Wasick. Wasick over to Peterson. Jordan Peterson launches a 3 off the rim, no good.
Everybody wanting JP to make some points.
Absolutely, Josh, a senior fan favorite. And a shout out to Lynn Swenson, who's tuning in. Thank you so much, Lynn, for tuning into this game. As we see the Saints trying to get some points here with just about 20 seconds left on the clock. They got a couple younger guys in as well. Wilson with it now on the near side. Throws that one out top, and it's taken away by Peterson. Peterson trying to get some points here. Ooh.
Almost
Tried to
had
make
the
a
reverse.
move. And so he will get to go to the line, though.
First personal. Jordan Peterson shooting 2.
Peterson's first attempt, no good.
You could sense the tension in the building, right?
Absolutely. Everybody wants Peterson to get those points. Unfortunately, can't convert on the second. Time running down, quick shot launched up, and that will do it. Final score 77-58 in favor of the Deacons. So Lady Deeks unable to come away with the win in the first game, but the Shanley boys do walk away with the 77-58 win, hopefully righting the ship after a big-time loss to West Fargo Cheyenne. That was, of course, in their last game. So this win got to give them some confidence going forward.
Yes, completely agree. For Shanley, lean on the players, lean on your seniors, basically your whole varsity, and just keep playing your game, keep developing, keep getting that chemistry all together, getting ready for state. And then if you're St. Mary's, good building point from this game, but just got to make sure that you keep tightening up on defense, getting some better offensive possessions, and then through that, hopefully both of these teams make it to state.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You know, St. Mary's drops to 0-7, but again, I think that's a deceptive record. They kept it fairly close for most of the game here against Shanley. I think they're just a couple pieces away from really being able to contend, and it's still a pretty young season, only 7 games played. So as this year goes on, it would not shock me to see St. Mary's really turn things around. I absolutely think they're going to get a win here very soon. They're just so due. Shanley, meanwhile, like you said, just keep things going. You right the ship after the tough loss. You move to 4-2. The Deacons are a threat to win the East if they can get everything put together, become a bit more consistent. So we'll see what happens. As for this afternoon, though, for Josh Johnson and for our entire crew, your final score from Fargo: Shanley Deacons 77, St. Mary's Saints 58. To watch the archived version of this entire broadcast, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.